right. Hi everyone. We're here a smidge bit early so we can get the rest of the trial hopefully done. Gally, hey. So, real quick, I did add Scraggy, Victini, and I don't know if I'm saying it right, Zodra for Pokemon, for the Pokemon catch thing. And I do have a sad looking London. Like, okay, so so excited about Bald London last week, and I didn't save said Bald London, so I had to start over, like, right before stream. So, yeah, you see, he's not quite fixed. He's a little broken still. But I did put him in here, so he's technically in here, but there is a London. But he doesn't have any accessories, pets, or anything like that on him right now. Just a little blink, and he walks kind of funny. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go back to Morgan. Alright, pets, and get back my pets. But yeah, I'm happy. I hope you all had a good weekend / week. Where's my sunglasses? Face. Sunglasses. There we go. Morgan in sunglasses just looks cool. Yeah, so you can see how, like, I'm like, okay, I started on him. He's got his mole. He hasn't got his scruff yet. He walks, looks like he deletes his legs for whatever reason. I gotta fix that. And I'll, outfit him for stuff. His coat looks good. Thank you. I need that shading. Yeah, hey, welcome in. Alright, so we should be we should go in the second half of the trial. You made it in time? You absolutely made it in time. An Emma avatar next. Let me... Emma and Reyes. Well, I don't have one right now. But I can add that for letters. Ah, you see. Yeah, sorry, I don't have it yet. I barely got London squeaked in there. Just a thought you try? No, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, anytime you guys want, And again, the rules are basically for avatar requests. If it's for a series we're playing, I will add that into it. If it's not for a series that we're playing, it's either two ways. You either get enough mana coins through the mana dams or the battle royales, and you can you can use the, it's not real money. You can use that and get a request for an avatar for something that's not a Fangan or something you're playing, or anyone who's a member gets one free avatar they're choosing. Yeah, okay. I make sure I explained that all right? Yeah. But in the meantime, so I just said monodams. Let's go ahead and give you guys some more monodams. Pew, 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 pew. All right. Who do I think did it? No idea. I mean, it's... I want to... What are our options here again? No, well, not Barrows. Obviously not Barrows. Okay, Chopin's our dead guy. Han's an option, possibly. Is very pretty. You're currently dealing with 4 sicknesses overlapping. I'm not sure if you can say. Oh yeah, no, that's totally fine. Gally, no, if you need to sleep, go sleep. Get better. What if it was Barrows? Your favorite part of the game is when they're like, blit, red dot of the devil's time, and blit of the devil all over the place. It'd be really funny with Makoto too, honestly. Nina is an option. As is Rogers. Do I think it is cool, confident woman, or do I think it is sad boy? Those are my two options here. They must have waved me down over 5 times. I've been in private banks with less active security than this. Were they private banks that had recently had a shooting? No. Then the comparison seems flawed. Armed guards in the halls, drones outside the windows. Androids standing firm in the streets, triple spectrum scans at every entrance. They really rolled out the red carpet for you this time. If they were this concerned, why didn't they just move the trial outside of the city? The district attorney said as much, but the city council overrode them. The district attorney? You mean Miss Rockford? Miss Rockford's boss. Word of the attack yesterday is already trickling out. They can't afford to delay, or it'll look like they've been successfully intimidated. There's such a thing as overcompensating. Not on the stage of security theater. Were you able to look over the DNA analysis that scientists completed, Adonai? The report on the bindings? Yeah. Yeah, let me see these. Let me see the evidence. Cut bindings, there we go. An Ikaria. Blood matches the DNA of subject A, Ikaria. Oh no, Sosuke Ikaria, that's what we're saying. And subject smiles, Heavens Miller. Right, I totally remember Sosuke's Ikaria. I was saying, oh, we have an Ikaria and a Sosuke. Okay. Smiles Miller, Smiles Miller. Miller, you were... We're sure Miller died, right? Like, when we thought they died? Huh. Okay. Gave me a lot to think about on the ride over. You're looking much better. I don't feel better. They gave me some sort of injection last night. I woke up in much more pain, but they still insisted on taking off all my bandages. They got the knife pulled out? I just gotta be dead. Okay. I was like, that is what I remember. Okay, good. Okay. So, the sweat and blood could just be when they were torturing Sosuke. Some sort of injection. Sosuke consented to intravenous injection of a recovery accelerant at 9:33 p.m. last night. You consented without knowing what it was. I nodded. Thought it would help me sleep. He thought he was getting some NyQuil. I'm like, nah. That interrogation room isn't exactly ideal for rest. Spoiled brat. This is the same guy who was confidently telling me he was going to be fine in jail. What about you, Adonai? Were you able to get any rest? Or was there a drunk police officer in your home? I slept like a rock. Eventually. Didn't even wake up when a certain unwelcome guest stumbled out the door in the early morning, thank God. But it was an accelerant, huh? I thought there was something familiar about this discomfort. They gave it to us back in the military on occasion. You heal up faster, but it still takes the same toll overall. Explains why I feel like all my bruises are fresh. Why did they wait until now to start giving Sosuke medical attention, though? Emma must have realized it was getting a bit silly. Trying to accuse you of murdering 5 people when you look like you had been thrown through a windshield. Oh, that's sneaky! Emma! She's like, oh, well, yeah. If you heal up someone's, like, all their wounds and stuff like that, they look less like a victim and more like a perpetrator. Emma! Don't worry, Sosuke. You're still handsome, even without the rugged edge that your injuries provided. Hearing that doesn't make me happy, you know. Then why are you blushing? It's not like you're spotless. You still have a mark under your left eye. No, I've had it since birth. Oh. I was told once it was charming. He still looks like a kick puppy, so we have that. Yeah, true. Why did you bring it? Is it not charming? He's so needy. He's like, someone tell me I'm pretty, please. You know, this doesn't make me happy. He said, you know, like a liar. It's okay, Sosuke. You're still very pretty. And we will not get your... What is it? She said like they shave all their hair off in in the jail. We will not let that happen to you, Sosuke. We promise. Mostly. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that for the court, detective. That was the same story you told me yesterday down in the lower wards. He and Reyes were the second on scene, so they focused on clearing the lower towers before meeting with Rogers. Good to have it on record so I can look it over. Mostly. I can't make too many promises. I am Morgan. I am technically still a serial killer. As for the next item on the docket, calling the defendant in to testify. Seems like it's going to be a nothing burger. Not entirely, Your Honor. My client waives his right to decline. Does he now? Seeing the autosave in the corner like, oh god, I'm in danger. Sosuke Ikaria. I'm head of the personal security at the Ikaria Financial Group. And the IFG. That's a family-run small business, mom-and-pop operation, I take it. Family-run? Well, Mr. Ikaria, I feel like the court already has a strong understanding of the circumstances you found yourself in. How you were captured and tortured by these 4 known criminal associates, all of whom are now dead. How you were found standing over the body of Officer Chopin. I suppose all anyone can ask is, what do you have to say for yourself? I can only tell you what I remember, even if that's mostly pain. You still never went? I mean... What? Hang on. There you go. Another one through. How about after the pain? How did it end? I woke up to the feeling of my blood drying on my skin. Familiar sensation for the head of personal security, I assume. Objection. I can answer. It was a novel experience. I pulled off my blindfold and felt like I stepped into the desert. White flaring in my eyes, heart thumping in my temple. But I realized there's a gun in my waistband. The indicator showed that it was spent. Didn't know what to make of it. Does this gun look familiar to you, Mr. Ikaria? Yeah, that's the same gun. Let the record show the witness has admitted to wielding the same Mag US used to kill 2 of the victims. Is this okay? I stumbled forward towards the door, and past it the whole room seemed red. And after that, you don't remember? Anything else you'd like to say to the court, Mr. Ikaria, before we finish? No, I did not win again, did I? God damn it. No, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. There we go. There we go. Regretting. No. There's one more thing I recall. I remember holding my sword. So he admits it. Yeah, he must have done it. You remember holding your sword. Oof, that ain't good. That's very interesting of you to say, Mr. Ikaria. It was on the ground, and it's important to me, so I bent over and picked it up. Do you recall the next thing you did with that sword, Mr. Ikaria? No, the next thing I know, I'm being transported and read my rights. I see. Your Honor, do you feel we need to continue? Yes. Yes, we do. The questioning? 80s are so good. The trial. Ouch. Ready to bring cross-examination anytime, Your Honor. What if I just take my character out? What is happening here? that sounds... There's no way it's supposed to happen. Okay. I'm gonna keep spending all of them until someone else wins this. If you insist. Round 1. Fight! You come in after. Surely we're past round 1 by now. Oh, hold on. Because I am absolutely not locked in here. Oh no, I don't erase that one. We'll do here. There we go. Okay, Yoru, cut bindings, and the gun. Okay. Evidence. Okay. What was new things he found out? Nothing on there, I think. The cut bindings, Creek's blood, and our blood. Oh, Sasuke's blood. And Yoru, the sword. Where's Yoru? Okay. Fingerprints match the right hand of Sosuke. No other prints are found. Okay. There's... Okay, well, Karu's in here now, too. Maybe whatever... This is tyranny. Maybe whatever caused it to do that is now changed. I woke up in that room blindfolded and in pain. Managed to untie my bindings and stumble forward. That's when I noticed a gun sticking out of my waistband. I was alarmed, but the ammo was already spent. When I stepped through the door, everything on the other side was red. All I could think to do was bend down and pick Yoru up the floor. The next thing I know, I was in an ambulance having my rights read to me. Sosuke isn't lying about anything, is he? No, he's just subconsciously glossing over a certain detail. All the trial prep in the world can undo multiple concussions, I suppose. Okay. Yeah. Wanna bet? Ha! The curse is broken. Oh, thank God I didn't win. Yay, Karu, hooray! Sosuke couldn't have untied his way out of his bindings. Not when they're very clearly cut by something sharp. Objecting to a statement from your own client now. What do you mean, Morgan? These pieces of cloth were recovered from the room where you had been held, Sosuke, and they very clearly have been cut. You didn't struggle your way out, you cut your way out. Yeah, now that you mention it, that's right. But if I cut myself out first... Your Honor, the people asked that the defense do their testimony coaching before the trial begins from now on. It's when she's generally throwing cards at her every time. As it stands, this has been a colossal waste of time. Yeah, I mean, this detail probably isn't important, right? It's very important, Your Honor. If he used the blade to cut himself free from his bindings, that means Sosuke couldn't have gotten free until someone handed him a blade. Meaning, the people's theory about daring escape mid-interrogation is doing just fine, thank you for asking. None of us in court here today seriously believe this man or his memory can be taken as the truth. Then forget him and just look at the bindings. They're hard, physical evidence that they had to have been cut. By something sharp. What do we know that fits that description? You'd think it was Yoru. His captors kept him bound in that room most of the night, then cut him from his bindings with a sword to bring him to the main room for questioning, where he turned the tables on them before slaughtering them all, but there's no fingerprints on Yoru. Badass. Well, counselor, are we done here? We can actually bind themselves. Raise! But also save the game, in case I'm wrong. Of course it wasn't the sword that cut those bindings. What do you mean? The problem lies with the DNA. Your Honor, if we could please draw the court's attention to the forensic analysis of the bindings. Are we done here? No, we have like 3+ hours of gameplay left. You'll notice. Your client's blood, obviously. Yes, obviously. But upon closer inspection, you'll also see the blood from Miller was found as well. The poncho guy who was stabbed in the throat, as the court may recall. By your client's sword, as is no doubt still fresh in the jury's memory. Well, how can that be, Your Honor? What do you mean? Is it not sharp enough? What a piece of... How can Miller's blood have ended up on the bindings that kept my client from leaving the room in which he was held? Unless Miller was killed before my client was ever cut free. Or this. That's kind of a big deal. Isn't it? I thought so, at least. She's lying. It's not possible. God, this crowd is rough, man. Oh, God damn it, Emma. You thought wrong, counselor. Crowd stays hating. Crowd is haters. It's true the katana has blood from Miller's stabbing on it. And I'll admit, it's surprising to see his blood on your client's bindings. Miller's autopsy showed that he had no wounds besides a fatal puncture in his neck. So the bindings on my client had to have been intact at the time Miller died. But those bindings didn't need to be cut before your client could kill him. I'm sorry, what? If your client's wrists were left bound for questioning, he could have stolen the gun, killed Tanks and Creek, then picked up his sword just as he stated in his testimony and set to work. You think my client was drugged and beaten before killing 4 men with his wrists bound? Hardly impossible for a man with his talents. And there's no other explanation as to why he would have cut his bindings with a sword that, as you insist, must have already been used to kill Miller. No other explanation? Not even if he used something else to break out of confinement? Save. And then max vote this? Okay. Do I want to put my knife in there? I don't think I'll put my knife, right? I guess I do want to put my knife. I knew I was wrong as I put that there, but I'm like, well, yep. Let's look at those needles. How much is... Do I really? I don't want to put my knife. Why would I confess? What are those? What are those? The needles found where Sosuke was held? Ew. Okay, never mind. Yeah, okay, that was bad also. Okay, I guess I am putting my knife in as evidence. What if my client had simply used this to break it? Oh, right, duh, we found it, and it was like scarred, or like torched. So our evidence isn't on there. Okay. Oh, thank God. Okay, right. I forgot that part. I was really concerned. I'm like, why are we offering up our personal stuff? What if my client simply used this to break out? What the hell is that? Way overcooked from what I can tell. It's a murder weapon, Your Honor. One recovered from the scene of the crime. That knife! Yes, that's what I grasped when I first woke up. That's impossible. What she said. There's nothing about a knife found seared to perfection in the ARC's data. Is it overcooked or seared to perfection? This knife was not found inside the building, Your Honor. I retrieved it from the alley immediately beside it. Your android did? Need her to submit video evidence of the entire afternoon to verify it, Doubting Thomas? It's not the android I have trouble taking at her word, Counselor. What forensics have been performed on it? There are no fingerprints remaining, and the DNA present on the blood is too damaged to be of use. but I've identified at least 2 different blood typings. AB negative and B negative, Your Honor. Your Honor, the people are, of course, interested in forensic analysis of any evidence that seems pertinent to the crime at hand. But this was retrieved from an alleyway dumpster. A soot-filled drum near the alleyway dumpster. From an alley in the lower wards. Without strong evidence linking it to the crime, I see no reason to entertain the idea that this is some kind of 4th murder weapon. 3rd murder weapon? What? The bat was post-mortem. Really too happy about that. The point still stands. Well, how bad it, Morgie? Any link between this totally not suspicious 5-year-old knife and our crime? Yes, but I'm gonna save the game. Or should we just, like, throw it back in the garbage? Again, it was the soot-filled drum by the garbage. Of course. I have more to go on than just mere proximity, Your Honor. The proof right here. This knife was what Sosuke used to cut himself free. Wrist cut on left hand finger. Bruises well. Nope. Nope. Also, I should save closer. My bad. Okay, well, so let me see what his medical records is. Okay, so if I... Rest of numerous injuries, cut on left hand finger, bruises, welts otherwise. And let me look at the knife again. My knife. Rear signs of blood on the blade despite being significantly charred. Cool. Just taking a look at that. Your client's medical intake record. A little late to be drumming up sympathy, but if there were shirtless photos on the file, I suppose I have a dude. AD. Sarah. There are. Sarah, that's our client. What? I didn't remove my shirt for... If I may please direct the court's attention to one specific item. Slight laceration found on left hand. What do you mean slight? Like a paper cut? More like a cutting board accident. Neither paints a very gallant picture. But if he had a cut on his finger when he was first arrested, then it must have been sustained around the time of his escape. You mean? Like when he was using the knife to cut himself out of the bindings while blindfolded. Yeah, that makes sense. Even a master swordsman can nick himself on his blade every now and then. His katana was found with a lot of blood on it, yes, but none of it his own. Adonite is correct. Yoru was thoroughly tested and found to have blood residue matching Miller, Trey, and Officer Tariq, but not one drop of Sosuke's. Meanwhile, we have a knife right here, ready to be submitted to evidence and studied under every microscope the state can find, that just so happens to have Sosuke's exact blood type on the tip. AB negative, that blood type. Doesn't match anyone in this case's full file except for Sosuke. What? I do blood type fortune telling. I'm B positive. Skinamarink, hey! That's a hello, which means a battle royale. Battle royale that I definitely won't win this time. No, sorry. So I have a hobby, shoot me. 2 shots right to the base of my skull. Counselor Morgan, perhaps you might grace us all with your formal request. I call for this knife to be submitted into the record and forensically analyzed as quickly and thoroughly as possible, because I believe it is the murder weapon that actually ended Miller's life. A knife to the neck. It would be much easier to pull off than using the very tip of a sword. I'd hypothesize. Definitely not from knowing from any reason particular. Nice recovery. Perfect, Ukami. In other words, then, you're asking for the medical examiner to reevaluate whether this knife might be a better fit for the wound in Miller's neck. Yeah. Did you just repeat what she said, but slightly rephrased? A conversational tactic to surpass metal gear. It's worth repeating, Your Honor. Because the people understand the full weight of what this knife implies. It can overturn this entire case in an instant, depending on what Sato finds. Emma's repeating what I said because she's stunned. I just flashed her my hand, and it was one card away from a full house. The people have no objections, Your Honor. This trial requires that we fully examine this new piece of evidence. Cool. So it's like, somebody have her number? Is there a group chat for everyone who works in the government? Or like, Dr. Sato is already on her way. So there is a group chat and I'm not in it. Brady, I'm so sorry. She'll be in the examination as soon as she arrives. This is why Chiyuki Jikananpa is a goat. Nice. That is a Chiyuki sprite. Guess we just slack off until she's done then. It occurs to me, Your Honor, that we ought to thoroughly examine why this possibly critical piece of evidence was not found during the police's investigation. Margaret's hitting you? Okay, bye, Gally. Yeah, go take care, okay? The investigation and preservation of this crime scene was a joint effort between the police and Sinus Security. What would the group chat even be for, just in case a murder trial requires it? Then perhaps our next witness can shine a light on the source of this deficiency. Ooh, somebody's gonna get in trouble. Oh, Adelaide! Hey! 80 is so mean when I was like first saw Han. Also like, oh, hi, hey. Adelaide Han, site manager at Sinus Security. I served as supervisor for the scene of the crime in case 356319-B. Wow, can I call you lady? Nah, babe. But what should I call you though? Oh, well, you can keep calling me babe, or you address the adjutant as Your Honor. Awfully cold name for such a hot. I was like, no. No. Why the hell wasn't this knife found sooner? Well, I'd hate to throw a business partner under the bus, but we at Sinus Security maintain the perimeters and stand watch over secured scenes. It's the cops who do the searching and the flagging. You'd have to ask them why didn't they go dumpster diving. It was a drum. The police aren't your business partners, though, are they? I don't understand the question, Your Highness. Sinus Security is a cell corporation owned by FIC Holdings, an offshore rebranding and effective pseudonym for Kim Acquisitions, aka the heart of the criminal organization operating in the lower wards that is commonly referred to as the Blue Blood Mafia. If you say so. Sounds like it's above my pay grade. Permission to treat the witness as hostile. Can I get popcorn first? Do you know why the state cooperates with the Blue Bloods to this degree? Why you're allowed to run your businesses and manage your petty fiefdoms. Petty fiefdoms? How about this? It's a free country and we're loyal, capitalist, tax-paying entrepreneurs. You got your own explanation? It's because you're insignificant. Damn, we're just in the middle of this fight here. Damn. Damn. Neither you. You got a belly bolt, which is literally the best thing ever. Belly bolt's your favorite non-legendary poke. Ooh, nice, nice. Neither you nor the organization are on trial here today. That's not a favor. It's not a show of respect. It's just reality. The state is slow to shift its priorities. Evan knows how to shut up a room, right? You aren't the focus of this investigation. But if you impede this trial's progress by dodging questions and playing stupid, you'll find that the state shifts its attention to your neck very fast. Alright, you got questions for me then? Why wasn't the alley searched? Because the police found all the murder weapons within minutes. No rational person walked into that bloodbath and thought, gee, I wonder if there's a knife buried under a pile of ash in the alley downstairs. Your witness, counselor. My turn. If my hunch is correct, it'll be critical that I gather as much information as possible about the scene of the crime and save the game real fast. And the ways in which it changed after I left. When did Sinus Security first arrive on the premises, ma'am? Midnight? About 2 hours after my client was arrested, you're sure? Checked my messages and saw the time right on my phone when we got there. You were there yourself. Trouble with being a site supervisor, you gotta stay on site. A lot of naps and parked cars. I'll list up a few details about the building setup when we first met. Time to get it all out on the record. Okay, let's talk. Security. Do you know who owns the building that these crimes took place in? I don't. Do you know who installed the security features on the location? Sinus. Must have gotten hired by someone. Not my department. But you recognize some of the handiwork. The front door was Sinus. The individual vault room locks too. The front door was locked when the officers arrived. They had to shoot it open. Shouldn't your security systems recognize officers of the law? Our doors use physical locks. A lot of folks in the lower wards don't trust a fob scanner that can't be hacked. Physical locks can be bypassed as well. Sure, but at least that takes time. Let's press a little bit. Is there a way to unlock the front door without its key? I mean, you could use a spare, right? Is there any way to lock that front door without its key? Yeah, but the technique's real complicated. You walk out and let it shut behind you. So that door is designed to lock behind you automatically. It's a selling point for a building designed to be secure. Okay. So we get 16 from going through all that. The alley. The knife was found in the alley only yesterday, even though the police should have searched there. Yep. Seems like everyone did their job. Did you do yours? Was the alley monitored around the clock? It was. 18's a little scary here. Any disturbances to the scene in the alley? No, none. So there was no opportunity for someone to plant that knife there after the crime occurred. Not even a blue blood. There were cops coming and going all over. Why don't you ask them if we went around planting evidence? We did our damn job. Okay, nope. That was bad. Right. Okay. So then we just hit control. Do that, get my 18. Oh wait, was the alley complete? Did I click something? Let's check the weather. Let's figure out that one. It was a warm night, I bet. You asking about the weather? Not exactly grade A small talk. Relevance, Your Honor. I was trying to be polite, but if you insist. Were the windows open in the building when you arrived? That's a lot of windows, not sure. The crime scene and the room directly below it, were there windows open? Yes. Those windows were open when Sinus arrived. Strange. Didn't it rain that night? That drizzle was over before 9 p.m. And even if it had been a downpour, it's not a crime to risk getting your windowsills wet. Alright, so the building wasn't completely sealed by the time you got there. The last time I did was... Did I get a 2 last time? think I did. I think there was a 2 last time, so stay on that. Go play the alley. There we go. Stay at 21. Thank you. It was a very enlightening conversation. But it raises just one question. Whoever could have gotten inside the building before Chopin and Rogers? Blackjack. The hell are you talking about? Your Honor, perhaps Counselor Morgan might narrow down her absurd attention-grabbing claim first, so the people can properly eviscerate it. Yeah, what she said. Someone got into the building before Chopin and Rogers did. That's become obvious. So obvious. So extremely obvious. Yeah, I know exactly what we're about to say. What are you talking about? The only way into that building was through the front door. Chopin had to shoot it down. Are you suggesting he'd even try turning the handle first? The front door wasn't locked? No, it was. No, the door was definitely locked when those two arrived. This witness testified that the door is designed to lock itself automatically. So it's impossible for the door to have been left unlocked. As you say, but in that case... If we know that the front door was locked all night, and we know the master key was found on Creek's body on the 3rd floor, then where do I even... What the hell are you trying to say, anyway? Just that they used a spare key. Oh, spare key, how convenient. But completely unfounded. The witness just testified that a spare key is the only other way in. But there's no proof that a spare key even exists. Probably not, no. Probably. So how about I show the courtroom where it was hidden instead? Yeah, I definitely know where this is. Totally. What? Okay. Signs of it being moved? Oh, was it moved to grab something? Nope. Was it hiding? Emma versus Morgan have an epic rap battle. Loser dies. Oh my god. The dumpster? What's your obsession with preventing evidence found in the garbage? I'm gonna ignore that comment, and besides, there wasn't a spare key in the dumpster. It must have been underneath. I feel like I am relatively doing okay today. What? Is that true? Hey, don't look at me. I have no idea what she's talking about. The dumpster had clearly been moved, as indicated by the markings left behind from dirty rain in the lower wards. We can all see those marks, Counselor, but it could have been moved at any point after the last time it rained down there. The witness just testified that the last time it rained was 9 p.m. on the night of the murder. So what? Your claim is that a spare key to the front door was left underneath the dumpster? Him? Oh no, you're sick? Welcome in, but oh no! I hope you're feeling bad. I hope you get better soon. And let's give you a battle royale in your honor. Not so dissimilar from leaving a spare key under a potted plant. Or setting stone or Biwa statue. This isn't like any of those examples. The dumpster is massive and its wheels are long gone. Correct. So if anyone had moved it after the police had arrived, the cops definitely would have heard it. And if it was moved after the rain stopped and before Chopin and Rogers got there, that narrows it down to sometime between 9 and 10 p.m. And of course, someone would only bother to move a dumpster that heavy if they knew what they'd find underneath it. Someone like Okay, here are my options. Tanks, Han, Creek, Chopin. Modded arms, too. It had to be Han, of course. Counselor. I think she's gonna beat us. As a known associate of the Blue Blood Mafia, and an employee of the security company who installed the front door at the crime scene. Your Honor, we have the answers. Give us seconds here to save. Imagine it's on my phone like, Your Honor, just 1 minute, okay? The impact frames are so satisfying. I know, right? She'd have known exactly where to find a spare key. The dumpster also happens to be incredibly heavy. But I don't believe this witness's mod documentation has been submitted to the court. Could you estimate for us your approximate lifting strength? You lift with your back, not your arms, lady. Pushing strength, then. Me? I couldn't push over a flower. Fact is, you're just bullshitting. There's no proof for any of what you just said. We could check for your fingerprints on the front door. You'll find them because I've used it plenty of times. It's my job. We could check for your fingerprints on the dumpster. That thing's filthy. You get nothing but partials from a bunch of unlisted and addicts and whoever else stumbling around in that alley. Would we? Dunno. But after you do, I might just recall how I nearly puked when I saw that crime scene. And how I might have stepped out into the alley to catch my breath. Your nose is so raw. You get that way when you get bad allergies or something. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I know that feel. That's the worst. Would you believe I rested my hands on that dumpster then? There was no puke. Excuse me. This line of questioning is unproductive, Your Honor. Counselor Morgan cannot substantiate her theory because that fact is... There's nothing strange about Han's prints being on any centimeter of that building. Not when she spent nearly 2 full days patrolling it. True. Fingerprints won't be enough. I need something more impactful. And I've got just the thing. I'm like the same as Emma. I'm like, what? What? First time being sick in a long time. Is it the weather? Like, I know the weather's just been getting everybody sick with all the drastic changes and colds and hots. Han was there that night. She was there before the police ever were. And she was there long before scientists showed up around midnight. And I can prove it right now. How? Exactly. What? I'm gonna prove how she got there before the police did. What the hell was that? If you have a runny nose, how the running stuff in the snow is so worth it. I was so done. Adonai, did you really have to do that again? What is happening right now? This is a simple whistle. Every time I press it. Oh no, 80 also. 80's like, please stop. Every ad in the courtroom picks up a rather nasty frequency. As does any phone with a proper receiver app installed. So, should the witness be excused so she can answer her phone, Your Honor? You brought that shit into the courtroom? Where exactly was this whistle found? At the scene of the crime, of course. Near where Creek's body lay. Police must have disregarded it as a keychain or toy. God, police sucked at this crime scene. Didn't anyone ever teach you that when you find a button, you should press it? That's the exact opposite of what you should do at a crime scene. Yesterday, Dr. Sato testified that Creek was alive for several minutes after being shot. If he pressed this whistle even once in that time, the witness's phone would start getting alerts. Emma's no joy or whimsy. Emma's also just tired. Everyone wants to go home and nap. As I've demonstrated to the court just now. Anything to say for yourself, Miss Han? Did someone install that app on your phone as a prank? Its reception has limited range. The lower wards is a tight-knit, high-density community. How far could you have been? Far? I wasn't in the area that night. It doesn't matter what range she was at, Your Honor. The defense claimed that Han entered the building with some kind of spare key, letting the front door lock behind her to block Chopin and Rogers. But those two officers did enter after they shot the lock, at which point they didn't run into the witness. Karrick was shot around 9:45 p.m. Considering the time it would have taken Han to arrive and retrieve the spare key, she would have only been a few steps ahead of Chopin and Rogers. After coming so far with your brilliant spare key deduction, are you now going to claim that she simply ran away? Oh no. At that point, she would have had to hide. And save. Emma, you're just very intimidating, okay? Okay. So, for hiding... Oh, on the first floor vault. Since they didn't see her, logically, you must conclude that she hid in one of the rooms on that floor. That is logical, but it's also entirely conjecture. Not this time. Detectives London testimony established the possibility. Remember the good Detective London testified earlier? Rogers had already apprehended the suspect, so we focus on securing the area. Sunshine and I cleared the first floor. All the rooms are empty, but one was unlocked. Can you teach me how to speak brackets out loud later? 2 police detectives have sworn that one vault on the first floor was found unlocked. Unlocked perhaps by a spare master key? Is that some kind of like big deal? Why are you talking like this? Your Honor, what Counselor Morgan is proposing would put the witness behind Officers Chopin and Rogers as he proceeded upstairs. Not a bad place to be, if you want to do some backstabbing. You've got to be shitting me, that's some creative geometry you're employing, Counselor. Imagining the witness is somehow getting positioned behind Tariq Chopin, yet somehow remaining invisible to the eyes of Officer Rogers. Yeah, that is a bit of an issue. Non-Euclidean crime scene recreation. Very novel. Her insults sounded really smart, so I'm inclined to agree. I thought I had something, but when I tried to put the cards on the table, how could Han have gone behind Chopin on the 3rd floor? Was Rogers distracted at the window, maybe? Or... Wrong question. I'm getting ahead of myself. Try to work backwards at this point. I shouldn't ask what Han could have done to get in a position where she was able to kill Chopin. I should first ask what Han would have done to serve her own interests. Your Honor, there's some testimony I would like the court to hear once more. If you could access the stenography protocol. The what protocol? Was I supposed to be taking minutes for this meeting? I can recall any testimony you want to review, Adonai. If Han won't self-incriminate, then the... Oh, I hear the ticking, like I'm supposed to do something important. If Han won't self-incriminate, then the only testimony that could give me a clue as to her actions would be... Recite Roger's testimony from yesterday. Start from after they entered the building. What are you fishing for? We heard a loud slam. Chopin gets all deadly serious and insists I stay, and he goes ahead. That's it. The sound Rogers heard from the alley, the one that made Chopin want to form a pincer. That must have been when Han moved the dumpster in order to get the spare key. After the first officers on the scene already destroyed the lock? Well, no, oops. 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 Was I... When Han... Of course, that was the sound of her tossing the knife in the trash. Drum. Did she tie it to a set of symbols first? I'm fine. I mean, me earlier. I'm totally locked in. I got this. Did not got this. The sound the officers heard was that of someone fleeing the scene. Out the window, down the fire escape. And onto the dumpster. It's a bit of a drop. Even a dainty suspect would make quite the racket using the dumpster lid to break their fall. Lady, hi! So some things that ruined your day today? Oh no, I'm so sorry. And so you seek through the good vibes of the dynamic duo of Morgan and Sarah. They have been vibing pretty cool. Also, let's get you a battle royale, see if you can win some stuff. Battle royale. I hope your day feels better soon. Your Honor, if we have to entertain this thread of conjecture, might we at least ask for proof that it ends somewhere impactful? I hear ya. Counselor Morgan, take this one seriously. You're telling me to take things seriously? What exactly are you accusing this witness of? Yeah, y'all meant real serious, okay. Are you prepared to accuse Han of having murdered Tariq Chopin? Yes? Obviously I am. Counselor, you. I'm joking. No, of course not. If my theory's right, then it was the sound of Han fleeing the scene that caused the cops to split up. In other words, at the time she left, Chopin was still alive. No, she's been uncooperative and has lied about on this witness stand. But she didn't kill anyone. Oof, that was anticlimactic. It happened again? What? No! No! That's not, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. Didn't happen. I mean, perjury? Who even cares? Says the judge in court. Perhaps now, Your Honor, the court can get back on track and bring this witness testimony to a close. And considering the fact that she very well may have perjured herself, I think it might be a better use of the court's time if we clear the room for the remainder of this witness's testimony. No objections, Your Honor. Okie dokie. Bailiffs, clear the gallery and remove the defendant to the holding room. They're forcing us out? What the hell? Yeah, you haters. Get out of here. Hey, tag along, would you? But Sosuke. Can't let someone with a concussion fall asleep, right? I am certainly still not concussed at this point. See? He's delirious. Trust me. Very well, Adonai. Even though they win is actually pretty funny. Good luck. It's like, I'm not in it anymore. See, it's okay. Place empties out faster than I thought. No gallery, no jury light feed, no bells and whistles. You just gave your testimony to the defense and the people and mwah. Then, when you're done, I get to watch them argue over whether or not I should add it to the record. So, you think I got something contentious to say? Sorry, but it's just gonna be more of the cold shoulder. What I think is that you're scared. The hell? Of what? You? An audience. What, the pigs? You think I give a shit what any of them things, says, or does? Even if any one of them might leak what you say back to... If any one of them might leak what you say back to the old guard. What's an old guard? The ruling factions among the Blue Bloods, who use young bloods like this witness as their cannon fodder. You actually won? Woohoo! Congrats! Where did you learn all that? You have binge all late dine special? Knowing Emma, she learned all this from... Matter of fact, I did. Old guard knows where my loyalties lie. I'm no snitch. So, now there's someone to snitch on. I don't help state prosecutors, and I definitely don't help Ikarian lawyers. The court's already been emptied out. We can sit here in silence if you like. 15 minutes of nothing and then you walk out. But when you do, someone's going to make assumptions of what went on in here. Telling me I'm screwed if I do and screwed if I don't ain't exactly got me feeling. Sosuke didn't kill Creek. Maybe you don't care if an Ikarian dog goes down for a crime you didn't commit, but how do you feel about the person who did put that hole in Creek's chest, toasting to the news of the verdict? Screw it. Okay, damn, okay, she's... 9:47 p.m., night of the murders. I got the alarm on my phone. Knew it was Creek, because the whistles all have specific frequencies. You gotta send them to your device if you want to listen for them. Creek had nerves like ice. Strong bluffer. Wouldn't press that button unless he absolutely had to. I ran. It was fastest that way on foot. It usually is in the lower wards. I knew where the spare key was. Helped set up the whole damn place. Doors, keys, soundproofing. Stepped inside and just got my phone light out when those two idiot cops came up, reds and blues, but no siren. Trying to be some kind of movie shit. I thought they were going to shoot me. Then I heard Chopin getting ready to break the lock, and I knew they were going to shoot me. Used a spare key on the nearest vault, dipped inside and prayed that they would head straight upstairs. Lucky for me, they did. You followed after them. At a distance, but yeah. Saw their boots on stairs, their shoulders around corners. They split on the second floor. One went upstairs. It was quiet, except for that squeak on the fourth step. Creek used to joke that was a valuable security feature. They separated on the second floor without any prompting. One was stomping around the second floor, so I was able to keep my distance. Always knew exactly where that one was. Then one shouted down. He shouted, saying that everyone was dead. That must have been Chopin before Sosuke snuck up on him. I liked Creek. His boys were alright too. But I did not want to join them in Red Hood's company. So I didn't risk sticking around a second longer. I opened the window on the second floor, jumped for the ground. I was willing to hurt my knees, fall on my ass if I had to. But I ended up smacking the dumpster instead. Guy on the second floor shouted after me, "They're in the alley!" I heard window slide above me, footsteps on the fire escape. But my knees had stopped shaking and the fog was with me. They never saw me. You're saying you never even set foot on the third floor. Not until I came back hours later as sinus rep now. Where's the spare key now? Bottom of the bay, at the moment. Hell of a throwing arm, as you can see. I'm gonna help you go snorkel around for it if that's what you're asking. Well then, the people thank you for their testimony. You've cleared up a number of oddities surrounding this. No, we have questions. Though none of the answers you provided have changed the fundamental facts of what the defendant is accused of. Not quite. She was in and out, counselor. Didn't even set foot upstairs. I know. Not until she came back to secure the scene, right? Out with it, counselor. There's no need for theatrics at the jury or gallery here. I'm still here, and I would totally listen to theatrics. I do appreciate the witness being so forthcoming about her first visit to the scene. Now, I just need her to explain why she started covering up evidence when she returned. This was on us. This wasn't Emma. What are you talking about? Yo. The red ink is possibly... Found second floor crime scene. Okay, was on this... Oh, okay, so... that one. NRS! Hey! Welcome back. It's been a bit. Why go through the effort to hide one small scrap of paper? What is that? More trash? I was like, why do you keep throwing all this garbage at me? That's exactly what that is. Trash. Garbage. Some idiot knocked over a trash can on the second floor. It's a big building. This stuff happens. Still don't want to answer? That's okay, because I will. You covered up that scrap paper because it implicates you as an accomplice. Morgan just has a pocket full of trash, just chucking it out as evidence constantly. Didn't see that coming. Because it's nonsensical, Your Honor. Counselor, you just got done explaining how Han arrived after the pod was killed and left before Chopin died. Not an accomplice to murder. Just the mafia equivalent of leaky government secrets. Don't we all just have a pocket full of trash? Oh, I don't have anything in my pockets right now. I was gonna say, like, do I have trash in my pockets? Because that'd be really funny if I do. Even though the papers are most entirely illegible, It only took 4 characters for the P492 plan to blow up in court yesterday. Ah, yes, this broken pencil. Totally evidence, too. Years of blue blood planning all down the drain because Creek was reading something he shouldn't have before he died. Yeah, the art style is so cool. Evidence comes in many ways, shapes, forms, even a McDonald's meal that got thrown away 3 weeks ago. But he shouldn't have had it in the first place. One has to wonder where he might have gotten it. All because of that one goddamn watermark. Identical to the one on your own business card that I definitely remembered. Sign of security. You leaked the red ink. Creek never asked nobody for nothing. Oh, see, this is kind of sad, though, because this is for Creek's, like, sick, dying of, like, super diabetes brother, right? Dumbass was a giver. Gave money, food, blood, more than any of us. Enough that the weaker ones wouldn't have to get stuck. Guy like that came to a two-faced con hostess like me and asked for help. That red ink is radioactive. Anyone caught with it, why would he ask you for it? Old guard knew Creek was charismatic, brave, smart. Everything they feared in a young blood. But they also knew Creek made them too much money for them to just off. So the old guard decided to wear them down instead. More jobs than any of the crew, more responsibilities. Less downtime, no sleep. Keep them too tired to have time to rebel, then wait for them to screw up. So you can make an example of them when they do. Managers would do the same thing when a host got too full of themselves. Started thinking they were the ones bringing in the money. They were the ones who should keep it. Just put them on the grind. Grind them into dust. One old bastard had to try and grab that Ikaria kid or whatever. At the same time, another expected them to do some kind of arm's hand off to a big shot. At least that was the rumor. Look, point is, Creek knew they had a target on their back already, so they wanted some kind of deterrent. They could have dropped that red ink into any inbox in town, like a tactical nuke if they had to. But maybe that's why they fired their missiles first. You'd think the old guard killed Creek. I don't think it was that pretty boy Hound nursing those broken bones. Did he off that Chopin guy, though? I mean, I'd kill a stuck-up spoiled prick like that for no motive, so... Did that answer your questions, counselor? Not the most burning one. When did the scrap of paper arrive on the second floor? It wasn't there when I rounded that window. It was dark and you were panicked. How could you have even noticed? Paper's white. If you had seen it, would you have taken it? You kidding? Yeah, of course I would have taken it. Would have eaten the damn paper to make sure. Why didn't you simply eat the damn paper later when you did see it? Removing an item from an ARC-scanned building was to have any number of red flags. And the first thing that would happen is they'd wind the clock back to see what it was. That's what I did. Looked back to see how the hell I missed it. But the damn thing was in every pick the ARCs had right from the beginning. Knocking over the trash to hide it was the best I could do. Lower word survival tactics, hide in numbers. If this scrap was on the second floor when you left, but it was in the ARCs from the start, that means Reyes' body cam saw it by the second floor windowsill, the one connected to the fire escape. Your Honor, I believe we're done with the witness, even though all we've managed to establish is that that someone went from the third floor to the second floor without taking the stairwell. Someone circled around. You got that from, like, one paper? Am I just stupid or something? Just because those papers originated on the third floor. If that scrap was found by the windowsill, someone could have taken the fire escape. Exactly. Could have. Someone could have. But obviously they didn't because they would have run into Dr. Sato. She has some evidence or DNA or whatever. Maybe even an updated autopsy report if you even care. Should we, like, let her in? Your Honor, you're the one overseeing the trial, so... So I can cry if I want to. Open her up. And kick the flirt out. Hey, Miss Morgan. That Icarian dog didn't kill Creek's pod. No, he didn't. You gonna find out who did? Not your job, huh? Update autopsy report in the middle of a trial? Guess I deserve that. Finding Creek's killers is technically not my job either, Han. But if they're brought before me, I can promise I won't hold anything back. I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm not going to hold my breath. And I won't tell any of the other Youngbloods to hold theirs. Oh. Sato! Sato's so cool. Phew. Lots of news to break. I'll leave the interpretation of the good and the bad to you two. Oh, that's cool. Just to imply that I'm ugly. It's fine. Counselor Morgan's hypothesis stands. This knife matches Miller's entry wound. Well, how about that? And it matches the wound better than the katana, considering what we discussed yesterday. I'd be ready to say this was definitively the murder weapon that was used to stab Miller. But I've had no more luck with DNA testing than Sarah did. You weren't able to get anything. Nothing in the range of admissibility. However, like Sarah, I was also able to perform blood type analysis on the blade. And while I also found AB negative and B negative samples on it, I found one more blood type as well, A positive. Oh, thank God. Okay. I don't know, I keep checking for me. You missed out though? Right? The characters... The centipede tattoo is like the coolest thing ever, right? Right? And Morgan's like, what's my blood type again? No. 3 people cut with one knife? This can't be hygienic. As long as it's sticking in your mouth, you should be totally fine. No, I mean, I guess people getting stabbed with the blood part they're dead anyway. A positive blood. Who was there that night that had A positive blood? AB negative. Oh, Tariq does. Okay. What? Your Honor, these findings bring in a rather alarming fact to light. If Dr. Sato believes that Miller was most likely stabbed by this knife and not the katana, that means that this knife was also the source of Miller's blood on Sosuke's bindings. So either my client killed 4 men while cycling between a gun, a sword, a bat, and now a knife with his wrists tied together, all before ever stopping to cut his bindings, or he was still in captivity when the Blue Bloods were killed. But wait, that almost sounds like an alibi for 4 of the 5 murders. I like we're like, we just discovered this. We didn't know this from the very beginning at all. Also, this music? Holy crap. I feel like a little inspired. That is not an alibi, Your Honor. Morgan got her table slammed back after being interrupted. Woo! Merely an increasing strong shadow of doubt. The jury can decide that for themselves. The facts surrounding Tariq Chopin's death still stand. Sosuke Kureha was the only living individual in the room Chopin was killed in. Sosuke Kureha is the only person with his fingerprints on the katana. The table slam of determination power. Something he corroborated with his very own testimony just a short while ago. And the defense's theorizing fleeing suspect has already been revealed to be as incapable of committing any of these crimes. Yes. But unfortunately for the people's case against my client, there's evidence that completely overturns our understanding of how Chopin died. Yep, 100%. 100%, and we know what's happening for sure. Okay. I like this music is sick, right? I stabbed Millie in the throat with it. Okay, so we said it was how Chopin died? Overturns understanding of how Chopin died. Okay. So are we trying to say it's the knife? The knife Dr. Slot just confirms he's on Miller? Very likely to have been used to kill Miller, yes. But definitely used to kill Chopin. What? What are you going on about? Blood typing. Chopin is the only victim with A-positive blood. Even my client Sosuke has AB negative blood. I stabbed Miller in the throat. What? Went going crazy. Yet, Dr. Sato just told us that A-positive blood was found on this knife. That blood could have come from nowhere, but the single fatal wound identified on his autopsy. Chopin's blood was all over that scene. The knife could have fallen into at any point. Check. Not at any point, no. This knife was removed from the crime scene and never seen by the Arcs. That means it had been moved into the alley before Detective Reyes arrived on the 3rd floor. But Chopin was impaled by a sword. We'd all seen it. Yes, but not fatally. How could that stab wound not be fatal if the corpse was already dead? Because it was post-mortem. Like the bat. You're basing this on the blood. Usually closely follows a stabbing, yeah. It's the amount of blood, Your Honor. An impalement doesn't leave as much blood at the scene because the weapon acts as a stopper. I assume the amount of blood at the scene was the result of the sword being jostled afterwards, because the wound had been aggravated. But this knife turns that idea on its head. Yes. Chopin was stabbed in the heart from behind, but it was most likely with this knife. He collapsed on the floor dead, then the knife was removed and his corpse was impaled with the sword in the same wound, leaving a mark on the floor. The sword was only then moved around, increasing the wound size and masking the initial knife's entry wound. Oh my god, Sosuke, you idiot. I get he was just like dazed and confused and drugged, but wow, he really was accidentally incriminating himself. Which is what we planned originally, but still. While utterly soaking the floor in blood. It's a possibility. If I may, Your Honor. This may just be a possibility, but it's a possibility that makes the most sense to me. It explains the irregularities with the victim's substantial blood loss, the pattern of the wound, and the indentation on the floor. It might make medical sense, Dr. Sato, but the sequence of actions you described are not those of a rational human. But wanting to frame Sosuke for the murder seems pretty reasonable. And stabbing the corpse with his katana would be the best way to do that. I mean, I want to agree with her, right? Right? She's helping me. You make a strong argument, Dr. Sato. In order to frame my client for Chopin's death, they'd have to put his fingerprints on the murder weapon, the knife. They wouldn't need to stab the corpse with Sosuke's katana. They could have just put the knife in his hands. Oh. Swapping out the murder weapon and disposing of the knife is 2 to 4 times as much work. That many more chances to make a mistake. It's nonsensical. Stabbing Chopin's corpse with the katana didn't help them frame Sosuke. So what did it achieve? It made a big mess some poor schmuck would have had to clean up. I mean, yes, that's... Chopin's blood nearly destroyed all the red ink dots at the scene. But who says that's a coincidence? What if Chopin was stabbed twice? Just so that his blood would cover up the red ink dots. This is insane. Makes sense to me. No, not your logic for the stabbing. this idea of yours that Tariq Chopin was part of some kind of conspiracy to defraud the city. Agreed. That is insane. I believe just the opposite. You what? Tariq Chopin was an unpopular, straight-laced political aspirant working as a cop only to prove his electability. His personality, his family, his goals. He could have every reason to blow the whistle on Prop 492. And just to get the whole project cancelled, leaving the lower wards in an undeveloped lurch. A lot of people would hate to see it happen. A lot of blue bloods. But the son of 2 city councilmen wouldn't care. And an Ikaria, like my client, would be actively rooting for it. You think Chopin was murdered just to cover up the fact that Prop 492 had been corrupted. Just all that money left on the table. All the future money coming down the line. That's a much better motive than what it was you proposed exactly. That my client saw a police officer and would rather stab him than have to explain why he killed his captors? Something along those lines. So, like, what's going on now? Did Sosuke, like, do it or not? That will be cleared up in a very short order, Your Honor. With the help of our final witness. I wonder if we're ever going to see that kid in the cloak ever again. I would assume next chapter, right? Like, they wouldn't pull up, like, a cool design like that and be like, never mind. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. I'm excited. Saving. So, Yor wasn't even really used to frame me. It was used to draw more blood from the wound to soak the papers. A very cold decision to make in the heat of the moment. Defiling a corpse just to protect investments. Colder than stabbing someone in the back, Sarah? In some ways. Didn't think that was up for debate. Thank you for joining us once again, Officer Rogers. No problem. Where is everybody, though? Well, after the shooting yesterday, I'd rather not risk integrity or celerity of this trial by rescreening every member of the gallery when I've already cleared the room once. Celerity? Speed! Trials gotta go fast, baby. And it takes everyone a while to find their spot in the stands again. You were almost caught in the line of fire not 24 hours ago, Officer Rogers, yourself included. Surely you don't find the lack of an audience to be intimidating. Nah, I guess not. Where did we leave off with this guy anyway? I believed that lawyer over there just accused my late partner of being on the take for the Blue Bloods. I was merely exploring a possibility raised by the witness's sworn statement, Your Honor. That he never heard any gunshots in the area himself. And I stand by that. Good. Does the defense have questions for this witness, Your Honor? Or should we all continue to glare at one another for the rest of the day? Tempting, but I guess we'd better not. Your Honor, we ask that the witness testify once more about how he and his partner arrived at the scene. Yeah, no problem. I'll repeat as many times as you like. I'm going to call you on that. Can I just start hitting that whistle nonstop? It was a quiet night, but then my partner heard gunshots. We headed for the nearest known Orca hotspot and arrived at the building dead quiet. Door was locked. Checked the alley, but I didn't see another way in. So Chopin shot the lock to the door and we entered. It's the first one. I just gotta read everything now. Followed some kind of loud music up the stairs and there was a slam. My partner bolted to the 3rd floor. About a minute later, I heard a thud from upstairs and came running. To find the defendant standing over my partner's dead body. Adonai, are you waiting for something perhaps? Maybe. Just saving the moment, I suppose. There's only one thing to do at the point. Things will really take off. Oh my god, quit that already. As I've mentioned, I feel many times by now, that is a very unpleasant tone, Adonai. Sorry, Butterfingers. Hasn't anyone ever told you it's in poor taste to use the same trick twice? Oh, it's been a lot more than twice now. And besides, it's only an issue when it's used twice on the same audience. Speaking of which. Yeah, get wrecked, dude! What was that, Huey? Get wrecked, Huey! You gonna answer that, Officer Rogers? Just to fill you in, officer, what I accidentally pressed just now is a whistle found at the scene of the crime. Weird coincidence, but my little slip-up coincided with your phone vibrating. Can you erase the notification you received just now? Oop, oop, oop. Or should the court computer simply force open all your devices and splatter your data across the walls? Emma, what could you possibly... Okay, never mind. Emma's on our side here. I'm like, Emma. Officer Rogers, you have a so-called receiver application installed in that device, do you not? Yeah, I do. Is that in line with the department guidelines on use of third-party software on state-provided devices? It's not breaking any regulation. Bro is cooked. Doesn't need to earn you any demerits to make you look guilty of sin. You and your partner, that is. Did Chopin also have the app installed? We can go check. If having that app on your phone makes you guilty of something, you'd have to arrest half the cops patrolling the lower wards. You were so high when you first got to this part yourself, right? I'm like, oh, bro is so dead. We got him. What do you mean? It's common knowledge that orcas use unconventional tactics to talk to one another, but it has specifically the frequency of creek, so you gotta explain that, bro. Flags on buildings, closeouts on lines, smoke signals, probably even messenger pigeons. Oh my god, where? Don't jump scare me like that. When you gotta figure the statuesque, every pigeon is a disaster waiting to happen. Oh no! Anyway, whistles like that one aren't uncommon. So it is common for members of the police department to try to listen in on the chatter of groups like the Blue Blood Mafia. The lower wards aren't exactly a place a cop walks into without every weapon they can carry. And that goes double for information. Again, you're a patrol officer, sir. So there's nothing suspicious about his phone reacting to that horrible, horrible racket. Adonai, have I had to put up with that noise for nothing? No, not for nothing. The witness is correct, Your Honor. There's nothing suspicious about having a receiver installed on any of your devices, even if you aren't a cop. What's incriminating is the fact that Officer Rogers' device responded to the specific frequency of this whistle. Sorry, officer. A little blue birdie already told the court that you need to input a frequency in order to get alerts for it. Yeah, I know that. So is the whole force, in fact. The fuck? What? No, we had him. I see. The hell is she reading of it? Hold on. Officer Rogers. Testify about this anonymous tip that the police department received last night. Oh, I haven't seen the submission myself, but it came through the department's network straight to everyone's inboxes. Be advised, anonymous tips suggesting potential orca analog chatter at the frequency listed below. Patrol officers in lower wards use this information at your discretion. Oh, no, we had him. The fuck? What's the point in informing every cop in the city about a secret communications channel? The Blue Bloods would find out their line is compromised within minutes. Would they? I don't know. I don't control how anonymous tips get handled. But as soon as you got an email telling you there might be criminal communications occurring at a random frequency, you tuned into it right away. Believe it or not, I'm a little concerned about criminal communications these days. Having seen my partner murdered by an orca right in front of me. Barely 24 hours, nearly getting shot myself. Back up. You saw the moment of your partner's death? That's news to the court. You know what I mean. Your Honor, the tip was submitted, the frequency was spread throughout the police department network. likely because the Blue Bloods believed it to be compromised, having already been used at the scene where 4 of the members died. God damn it. Officer Rogers may have the receiver app on his phone, but so do many officers in the city. The app doesn't provide timestamps of when frequencies are added, so there's no proof of when his phone first started. There's no proof of when his phone first started listening for the frequency. Neither he nor his partner were members of the organized crime unit. Therefore, they had no CIs of their own, and they could not have obtained this frequency before the rest of the department. Since the defense cannot prove that the signal was acquired illegitimately. Hold on, I have a chance to prove this. After I save and figure this out. Okay, think, Dex, think. Okay, okay. Grab the crap, the paper. Use the data pad. Gun. Ink. And one of these is going to prove that they couldn't have acquired the frequency. Okay, I don't feel like it's a gun. I kind of just want to throw trash at Emma again, because it's funny. Creek's data pad? No, okay. I feel that was wrong, so I didn't even read that. Okay. How could they have pulled the frequency? Wait, why can't do bets? Did the bet button not load? The bet button didn't load. Oh, I can't bet anymore. Fine, it's fine. Scrap of paper. Nope. Okay, I'll get figure this out. This happened to you once or twice also? The game recognized I was doing this. Found on tanks during frisk 1 week ago. The bet broke. Yeah, I can't bet anymore. The frisk, maybe because the game knows my sneaky tactics. Oh, you're right. Yeah. The gun, what of it? Not just any gun, a Mag US, legally registered to Anchorton. How do you know that? Because this gun was identified and scanned over a week ago, when Tanks was briefly detained by some well-meaning officers on patrol. That report. Officers TC and HR reported the following. Subject in possession of a firearm in violation of parole. And subject in possession of suspected communication software installed on personal phone. Oh, okay. He wrote all that in the report? Yeah, your partner wrote everything in the reports, dude. You and your partner found the emergency frequency for Creek's pod over a week ago by skimming Tank's phone. And sat on it until last night when you kindly dropped it off in the tip box. The hell are you even saying? Why would we risk our perp, get good intel, and keep it to ourselves? For the same reason your partner might report a generic shots heard over the police network when he knew exactly where to look. The same reason he'd be ecstatic at finding documents on Prop 492 at the site of an Orca bloodbath. You wanted your gold stars. You want to be first on the scene at the site of a blue blood massacre. Counselors badgering your... Boss music! Counselors badgering your honor. And losing her meager thread of logic in the process. The previous witness testified that there was, in fact, a silent alarm that night. A silent alarm that needs to be actively pressed. It could have only gone out before Creek's heart stopped. Said witness responded to the alarm by traveling on foot, and yet arrived well before Rogers and Chopin. The lower words are maze-like. She could have been closer. This is like, fuck, dude, Emma's going all in, right? That whistle has a limited range over which it can be received. You propose that Officer Rogers and Chopin were within that limited range at 9:45 p.m., yes? getting soup or something, I think. Obviously you do, or else they would have never received the frequency at all. So, if person H is on foot and individual R is in a police car, and they both receive a signal at the same time, and the train leaves Appletown at 3 p.m., it seems like an irrelevant factor. All the court needs to consider is this. How could Officer Rogers and Chopin have possibly arrived later than someone traveling on foot if all three were within that range? Can't believe I told my geometry teacher that none of this would ever be useful. This isn't geometry, damn it, it's just logic. The fact is they did arrive later than Han. If I'm right about his motivation for Chopin's actions that night, if he was sitting in his police car and suddenly got a notification telling him some blue bloods were having a life or death emergency, how would he react in that moment? It would seem the defense does not have evidence available to address this contradiction, Your Honor. Evidence explaining exactly how Chopin proceeded to the crime scene? How did he get to the crime scene? Do I have... Do I have evidence on this? I don't think so, do. Whistle. I'm gonna raise. Might as well. Of course I have evidence that explains this contradiction. I just have to go get it. And by go get it, I mean reload this whole game and say, nah. Stay. Regretfully, Your Honor, we do not have such evidence in our possession. But fortunately, Your Honor, we live in a surveillance police state. Classic Phoenix Wright style bluff, right? Pardon? And that makes it pretty easy to surveil police officers. The officer's patrol car, their cell phones, traffic cameras, and optics data. I could request any of it. Hell, I'm going to demand it all. Your Honor, I formally subpoena all of it. What? 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 I'm not sure. I'm still learning. Ray's drunken talk at my front door reminded me exactly how much power the police have. Yay, police state! Awesome! But it was her dutiful checking in that made me realize just how hard it is to lose a cop in this city. Whatever it takes to answer this question for the courts. After Officer Chopin reported to have heard shots fired at 9:45 p.m., exactly how long did he and his partner do donuts in the parking lot before actually driving off to the scene? Kind of a big ask for the defense, but it's entirely doable. Do the people object? The people of course object to any data collection effort that would be a waste of taxpayers' money or a violation of their privacy. So we would prefer that the range of this request be narrowed somewhat. Narrowed perhaps from everything to something? Oh, so happy to do that, Your Honor. I promise not to act like a kid in a candy shop when browsing through. If you do this, if you subpoena the data, you'll just see me driving like a lethargic moron. Officer Rogers. He seems different. Hardly recognize him. Agreed, but I recognize his type. Soldier. Oh, okay, different voice then. Your Honor, what the defense is suggesting is largely accurate. Well, he's definitely guilty now, right? Pardon? That's a first. Though, there are some corrections I feel I should make at this time. No objections, sir? Officer Chopin is the one who discovered the frequency at which we had apprehended Inkerton. He entered into both our receiver apps at that time without my knowledge. It wasn't until the night in question that he chose to inform me of the intel he had obtained. You should get out of here so hard when polite and professional, right? And how he planned on acting on it. At 9:45 p.m. I received a signal. Before I could react, he had put out a notice on the police network that had heard gunshots. It was at this time that he told me to drive towards Blue Blood territory. As he started to explain to me what he believed we would find, I chose to take a suboptimal route. He spent several minutes in traffic as he berated me for my sense of direction. So, you both knew the silent alarm would lead you to some kind of Blue Blood emergency. But only you realized that meant you should take your time getting there. Logically, a silent alarm is triggered during a confrontation, not afterwards. I had no desire to walk into the crossfire of an orc gunfight without backup. You could have had backup easily. My partner had no desire to share our intel or how we obtained it. I apologize to the court, Your Honor, for being evasive or misleading during these proceedings. Me for lying? And I intend to take full responsibility for doing so. For lying? But I was not eager to admit the role my own cowardice played in these events. Nor would I want to imply that Officer Chopin was responsible in any way for his own murder. Very warm sentiments from the officer. Delivered with a voice as cozy as ice water. So, you're telling the court that you and your partner arrived at what you expected to be a bloodbath. And you still shut the lock off a door and started stomping around inside while separated from one another. I like that even Emma's on our side now. He has new sprites, you know what that means? 20 years to life, right? Respectfully, ma'am. With the route I took and the time it took us to arrive, we expected to find all targets neutralized. And that expectation was reinforced when we arrived on the street and found the whole vicinity dead quiet. Yet, we were still the first on the scene despite my stalling for time. I think that might have enthused my partner, who was excited and I let him set the pace. It's my deepest regret that I agreed with his request to split up. First to arrive, we know that isn't the case. A blue blood got there well before you and your partner. That's what you were talking about? His logic is still so wildly wrong, it's funny to watch all the holes Emma can poke and using, right? The witness wasn't present for that individual's testimony. He's merely giving the facts as he knows them. And he can't have known that there was a blue blood in the building. On the contrary, he already testified about encountering them yesterday, as they made a not-so-silent retreat down into the alleyway. That was the blue blood making all that racket? I see. My partner, Chopin, he shouted that there was someone scrambling around down in the alley not long before he was killed. He must have opened the windows on the 3rd floor to check. 3rd floor? That's a new detail, Officer Rogers. Pardon me if I failed to mention it yesterday. It occurs to me you weren't present in the courtroom when this other curious detail was brought to light. The fact that there was another weapon at the scene of the crime. A bloody knife, or somehow ended up down in the dumps. Know anything about that? No, ma'am, I do not. Playing dumb. Wrong move. But I do know that scientists is a bunch of amateurs with conflicted priorities. Explain this to the court, then. Oh, we're not even versus Emma anymore. 3rd floor coming to play, oh my. Forensic analysis already shown that this knife was the murder weapon used to stab Miller, getting a healthy amount of his blood on it in the process. It is also established that this knife must have been what my client used to cut his own bindings, if you say so. The evidence says so. If the defense isn't interested in asking the witness questions, perhaps they'll answer mine. What does this have to do with Officer Rogers? Everything, of course. Allow me to show you why. Okay. I can bet again. That's good. But let me save the game real quick. Yoink. Yoink. Okay.
A body has been discovered.
Slava Raven, hi. Thank you for subbing. The gambling returns. The gambling for just, yeah. Miller's car looks so smirky, it makes you laugh. Yeah, it's like, that's a smirk for a dead guy. The testimony? Oh, okay, that was the right answer. Sorry, we didn't get points. I didn't think it was the right answer. I thought it was wrong. We know for a fact that Sosuke had to use that knife to cut his own bonds. And Detective London testified that Officer Rogers apprehended Sosuke alone. So, why can't the officer who apprehended the man last known to be using this knife tell us how it ended up in the alley? That's a question well worth asking the witness. I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, and I found the sword. When I found your client, he had the Mag US and he had the sword. The sword he had struck through my partner. This knife you're talking about? Where'd you find it? In the trash. Drum! Drum! Down in the alley? Well then, some crime scene tech idiot must have thrown it out without thinking it was bio-waste. Or some scientist lackey tossed it in as a prank. I wouldn't know. Because I spent hours being debriefed in that room on the 3rd floor while they set up the arcs. I spent all night in a room with my partner's corpse. Never took a trip down to empty the recycling bin. We know the knife was with Sosuke at one point, and we know it ended up in the alley later. So it stands to reason that someone had to walk it downstairs and out the building. If Rogers never left that room all night, then someone else must have moved it. You're right, Sarah. He couldn't have removed the knife from that room. Not unless he... Yeah, that would work. Adonai? 0 points for your answer, Sarah. 0 points again. Sorry, I just wanted to agree with Sarah. The Sarah Smirkeridor, which you're gonna erase from history. 0 points for you. 0 points again. All that processing power, and you can't manage to think in 3D. Also, real quick, I don't think I have a picture of this one. I love this image right here. It doesn't matter if Officer Rogers stayed in that room all night, Your Honor. If anyone needed to dispose of that knife, all anyone needed to do to dispose of that knife was to step out into the fire escape and drop the knife down to the barrel waiting below. No need to leave the 3rd floor. No need to leave the crime scene at all, Officer Rogers. What kind of trick shot bullshit are you talking about? That is a long drop, Your Honor. A straight drop. Gravity's convenient like that. The target was a small drum in a dark alley. Said drum was burning when the police arrived. The target would have been plainly lit. I've taken both of your arguments into consideration. After much deliberation, I've come to the conclusion that the proposed method of removing the knife from the 3rd floor is not totally hard to do at all. Assuming monochrome of high... Uh-oh. Didn't they say he has really shitty hand-eye coordination? I swear someone said he has shitty hand-eye coordination. Assuming a modicum of hand-eye coordination and a basic understanding of Newtonian physics. Obviously, couldn't anyone manage that? Practice martial artists who are masters of every muscle in their body. Individuals like yourself. And me. Might find it hard to relate. Goom! Hey! Welcome in. Oh, someone said hi at that time. That means it's time for a battle royale. But there are some who would struggle with the task. Yourself and I? Wait. Hand-eye coordination. Eloquently put, Your Honor. Ah, god damn it. Oh, no. No. The judge, take back what she said. So, you must agree that someone with hand-eye coordination so bad that they hold the record for the worst marksmanship in the entire police department. Someone with such poor aim that they opted to physically assault a target rather than shoot them. Someone like that might find it impossible to pull that off. Go demolish each other. Are you talking about me? She's talking about me, Your Honor. And while I find her tone unflattering, none of what she said is false. Apologies, that dropping the knife from the fire escape didn't occur to me as a possibility. It just must be that for me personally, such a method of compromising a crime scene is not only unthinkable, it's impossible. Of all the stupid details that come back and bite me in the ass, the piss-poor aim that London mentioned? Is it possible that Officer Rogers faked his poor aim at the academy? It's easy to not hit your target. But why would he intentionally flunk a shooting test years ago? Give himself a strange alibi here today. He didn't flunk his test. He got the very lowest score you could possibly get while still being certified. Good lord, you'd have to be trying to. If his goal was to receive the exact minimum number of points needed to pass, his margin of error would be actually much smaller than anyone simply doing their best. But then, what about when he first saw me? It's true that any other cop who saw me standing over their dead partner would have just unloaded. Instead, he ran up and hit me. It was not actually that bad of a shot. Why am I still alive? That's the story Rogers has been telling so far, but he instinctively didn't bother to fire. His gun wasn't discharged, and Sosuke has the bruises, so we accepted that line of reasoning. But if I assume he's more dangerous than he'd led us to believe, why wouldn't he have just shot Sosuke when he had the chance? He could have told his fellow officers whatever story he liked afterwards, and we wouldn't even be having this trial. I feared for my life, that's all he needed to say. Under what circumstances would it have been impossible for him to claim that? Your Honor, I'm reminded just now that my client and the witness were in a physical altercation. I apprehended a murder suspect, yes. Surely you aren't suggesting I use unreasonable force. If anything, you used unreasonably little. Not at all. But I imagine things happen fairly fast. Is it possible that a knife on Sosuke's person may have been knocked away into a corner during that moment? What are you... It may have. I can't say that I have necessarily noticed something clattering onto the floor while I was trying to cuff a violent perp. Perhaps, Your Honor, the witness ought to testify about everything he recalls from the moment he confronted my client. Jogging his memory might be the only way we can address these gaps in our knowledge. No objections. Then let's totally hear it. Good versus evil, man versus machine, cop versus robber. I'm not a machine or a robber. Don't worry, Sosuke. If need be, Ad and I would go through a whole trial just to prove you're a machine. What kind of joke is that? Okay. Saving, because what? What am I proving? Okay. When that blue blood flowed down to the fire escape into the alley, I poked my head out the second floor window. Okay, sure. Then I heard a sickening thump from above on the third floor where I knew my partner was. Okay. Reflexively, I drew my service weapon and rushed up the stairs where I saw the defendant standing over my partner's dead body. Okay. He was shocked but he was clearly injured, and the sword was stuck, so before I knew it, I was running at him. Oh, the sword was stuck. Oh, crap. No. I guess it was... Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. That was so... It was. I'm sorry. I panicked. Okay. He was clearly injured. He turned to me with dull shock just as I whipped my pistol butt into his forehead. Medical records. His back of head, not his forehead. But time limit, oh lord. Sounds very brave, Officer Rogers, but that's physically impossible. How could you have knocked my client out with one strike to the forehead when it was the back of his head that was injured? That's okay. I got it. I got it in that time limit. I kind of generally knew what I was looking for at that point. What are you talking about? Yesterday he had bruises all over his entire body. An exaggeration that doesn't hold up to scrutiny of his actual medical record. Largest wound found on the crown of his head. You don't remember who was talking to? Emma takes a hit. Poor girlie. You're wrong, witness. Emma, take that. The crown, as in the top of the back of his head. The butt of a pistol leaves a surprising specific impression on the human body, Officer Rogers. I assume Dr. Sato is still in the building. Perhaps you should call her back and have her examine my client on the stand. The robots are so into Sosuke. Sosuke, you'd have to remove your shirt to get my head checked. Emma's getting her own collection of trash, with just the cards. That would be a waste of time, Your Honor. Counselor Morgan has taken advantage of some rather vague wording on the medical record to make her arguments. Largest wound. Medical evidence, medical evidence, medical evidence. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Medical records, okay. Okay, blood from various sources across the interior front of the body. Left hand broken. Laceration left hand. Internal bleeding throughout torso and skull. Bruising and rope burns on both wrists as if bound. Used bruises on the front side of the body. Others, blood across the tops of pants. Largest wound found. Oh my god, did I say largest wounds? Okay, bruise the left eye. Busted lip. Broken nose. Boxed left ear. Blunt trauma to the front side of his head. Okay. But wait. But there's still. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, the last part. Man, I forgot how beat up it was. Right? So there is trauma to his front right side of his head. Fuck. Damn it. Including the front of his skull. She's not wrong. I still remember every ache. It's entirely possible that when Officer Rogers struck the defendant on the forehead, the blow was glancing, but still had enough to knock the defendant backwards. And had he fallen backwards hard, he very easily could have... No. Because blood? No. He very easily could have sustained a large wound to the crown of his head at the very moment he hit the ground. Respectfully, Your Honor, that's... Oh, God damn it. God damn it. This is definitely a fun time to come in, but no context about this game. Yeah, you're coming in the back half of the trial. So basically, just to summarize the game real quick, it is like a cyber noir, futuristic Yuri Phoenix Wright game. Yeah. Ultimately, not something either the people nor defense are experts on. But even if we were, neither of us could examine wounds that are no longer visible. Because she healed our injuries! Oh my god, no. Oh no, no. Oh my god. Emma, you cheat. You cheat, Emma. Sosuke's injuries, they've mostly healed as of this morning. Hope that injection helped you sleep really well last night, Sosuke. Oh, god damn it. Your Honor, as I see it, either we could extend this trial indefinitely, no, with both the people and defense flying an x-ray specialist and contusion analysis to argue back and forth about fracture lines, or we can accept the events more or less took place as the witness described. He hit the defendant on the head, and the defendant fell backwards on the floor. If the head was open to interpretation, then... Okay, hold on. Back to this again. Okay. So, if he fell backwards instead of forwards... Others... Well, the bruises are on the front side of the body, though. Damn it, I don't know if that's enough. It's enough to save the game, though. Raise. Forget expert witnesses. Let's just all look at the medical data with our own two peepers. Peepers? Officer Rogers claims that Sosuke... The blood! I said the blood earlier! Heck yeah! Look at me actually learning how to do a murder mystery. Officer Rogers claims that Sosuke was hit on the forehead and fell backwards. But what would he have fallen onto? Oh, the sword! Sorry, not the blood, the sword. In that room, probably blood and guts. Yuck. You're exactly right. Oh, and that too. All kinds of firsts happening in the courtroom today. He would have gotten blood all across his back. But that's not how he looked when he was arrested. The medical report clearly states that he had blood on the front of his body, telling us that Sosuke could have only fallen forward. And what of it? Maybe he did. Maybe he turned his head weird while trying to dodge. You would have snapped his neck, bro. Things happen fast. Oh, don't try to bullshit a bullshitter. Fast enough that you may have in fact actually struck my client from behind? Yeah, maybe. Took him by surprise when he was no threat to you. What? No. Easy target to knock out at that point. Makes sense why you wouldn't use lethal force in that scenario. No. He was... The guy's got nearly a full head on me. True. You are rather short. True. I don't object. Which makes it highly unlikely the witness could have simply hit him on the crown. Unless he was already kneeling in the blood, because there was blood on the pant leg parts. Or the top part of the pant legs, right? If things happen as you say, he had the element of surprise. He would have simply aimed for the easiest target possible. The one easiest to reach, the center of the bottom of the skull. Not quite. Excuse me. I never said that my client was standing up when this happened. You mean he was asleep? No, Judge. Considering that he was struck on the crown of his head, it's obvious at the time Sosuke Ikuria was... Wait. What's the difference between on the ground or bent over? Wait. Bent over? No. On the ground. Okay. Still bound? Never mind, the answer was bent over. Never mind, that was right. My client must have been bent over. He was bent over when the witness came from behind and I thought Sarah being mad at me was mean I was wrong. What? Why are you interrupting me now? Oh. Because I thought you would want to know you were about to phrase things in a way that would sound very silly. Oh my god, Sarah, what have you been watching? Sarah, quit watching Heated Rivalry and come on, flock in. Sarah's right, Morgan. You should let her take this one. What? It was when Sosuke bent over to pick up Yoru. That's when Officer Rogers struck Sosuke on his crown. As I've said, the one thing I do remember besides walking out of there was picking up my sword. Picking it up off the ground. Morgan's so oblivious. Having your android argue the weaker points for you now, counselor. Not exactly the bravest tactic. Tactics are for refreshing your breath. Aw, tic-tacs went out of business, now we have tactics. What can you claim is weak about the argument? Positioning. Your client really had walked out of that holding room and then was immediately hit from behind. Where would his assailant could have possibly been standing? Oh, crap. Okay. So. Yeah, wait. So that means Rogers would have been here? Here. Just not here, because he walked through this door right here. Sosuke would have seen him. Blueprint time? Sosuke had to get out of his bindings first, then push open the door. And he wouldn't have been because they were keeping quiet as he went. There would have been plenty of time for someone to hear him rummaging around in there. And figure out where they could hide. In the corner of the room here. That doesn't work. If that was the case, your client would have fallen face first here. But instead, he was apprehended here in the center of the room. So Tariq was hiding here because look how this stands out. He would be here. Hey, makes sense to me. Looks like they dropped like a sack of potatoes by the door, sure. But then he was dragged to the center of the room. Oh! Oh, those aren't... Yeah, that's not blood droplets. That's like... That is dragging blood. Would explain the streaks of blood that were discovered on the floor. Oh! Okay. Also, how do we not question that in the first place? The bloodstains were like, blah. So, those weren't left by him gliding his feet in order to move silently. I was hoping to learn the technique. Your Honor, I fear the defense may not realize the weight of the implication that her statement carries. Have those blood checks not been brought in? Exactly! If, as she claims, Sosuke Ikaruya was knocked unconscious by Officer Rogers the moment he walked out into that room, then my client never had any opportunity to stab Tariq Chopin in the back. And the only remaining individual who could possibly have killed him would be me. Yeah. Any thoughts on that, officer? I'm crime did. Oh, we do this way. Table slam trades. There's one thought that's been frustrating me for some time, actually. One I expected the prosecutor to voice, but perhaps I misjudged her. Excuse me? None of what you're saying makes any sense. Oh my god, bro. Don't try on Emma when Emma's the only one defending you here. You say that I hid in a corner to surprise Sosuke. And that I then, what? Snuck up on Chopin? How could I possibly do any of that if I was downstairs at the time Chopin was killed? At the time Sosuke killed him. It's not that the thought hadn't occurred to Emma, you idiot. It's that once I address this testimony, your entire testimony falls apart. You'd be a horrible witness in a real courtroom, but you're very funny to watch, right? And the truth of the case becomes crystal clear. There's no misunderstanding on my part, and I suspect none on the part of the people either. Because the truth is, when you and your partner arrived, you must have immediately KO'd. Oh, no. You were the one who took point, not your partner. Excuse me? Chopin opened the lock, sure. I believe that. He was the one all gung-ho about coming here anyway. But after entering, you went ahead of him while he covered you. What? You already told us you wanted to stall, wait for backup. And Chopin charged forward, you couldn't slow him down. But if you went first, you could go as slowly as you liked, and Chopin would be forced to match your pace. You were the one who cleared the room and shouted down that everyone was dead. I told you, I testified. So did your blue blood tail. Testified all about how you and your partner separated on the second floor. Objection. Mischaracterization of testimony. The witness of the defense is referring to did encounter the two officers, but the witness never identified either of them. The blue blood didn't need to. All they were waiting to hear was whether any blue bloods were alive. So after Roger shouted down to Chopin that everyone was dead, they bolted out the second floor window. And when Chopin shouted that someone was in the alley, Officer Rogers opened the windows behind Creek's body to try and spot the runner. Then he ran on the fire escape to try and follow them, only to give up when he saw there was no ladder to get down with. It's entirely possible that Chopin yelled that someone was in the alley from the third floor. The scene of the crime is soundproof, remember? No one in that room would notice the commotion in the alley unless they'd already opened the windows to check it. So, since Chopin yelled about it, he had to have been the officer who stayed on the second floor. Objection? Shh, I'm making your point. This blue blood rat of yours just misheard, or they're lying. Bro, what are you doing my evidence little mat here? Get out of here. Shoo. There's no proof for any of this. Yes, there is, officer. Now get out. There is absolute proof. Bro's just interrupting everything. Wait, you're cooking. Okay. Story by Chopin and Rogers. My knife again! Oh, also... Oh, is it a shoe print? That scrap of paper was found by the second floor windowsill. Oh, but it's not just any scrap of paper. It matches the writing documents that were found where the pod died. And it happens to have a partial boot print on it. Oh my god. I'm getting good. Get wrecked, Rogers. Proving that someone stomped from the crime scene down the fire escape and onto the second floor. Wait, yeah, show prints. That doesn't prove anything. Your own client could have left that boot print. My client was arrested barefoot, remember? You should. You did the arresting. Check that man's shoes! Then maybe Chopin. If Chopin was the one who brought the scrap down from the third floor, that would put him behind you. Meaning you couldn't have walked in on him being attacked by Sosuke. Yeah. Confess time, bro. Confess to this murder you did. Counselor. Even if we accept that Rogers was on the third floor, and then moved down to the second, the sequence you're describing ends with both officers reunited on the second floor, with neither of them dead. But obviously Chopin did proceed to the third floor because that's where he was killed. So now we're back where we started. Back where we started? You're forgetting one key detail in this new sequence of events. At the time the officers reunited on the second floor, my client was already unconscious. Meaning, the only person who had a chance to kill Officer Chopin was, in fact, none of the shit matters. This lawyer's trying to accuse me of killing my partner? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why would I do something like that? Because he was a squeaky clean dude and you ain't. Depends. What? Depends where you live. Not uptown, I assume. What's it to you? Single bedroom? Yeah, whatever. Not great. Excuse me? And having to ride all day with some insufferable spoiled rich stick in the mud. Knowing the whole time that your job, your whole goddamn police department, it was all just a bullet point on his resume. Time to get that argument in front of it. Counselor is badgering the witness in lieu of making an actual argument. Apologies, Your Honor. I'll state the motive plainly. Prop 492 was correct. Blue Bloods and worse would profit off of it at the city's expense. But it would also bring economic relief and badly needed repairs to the lower wards. Then I walked in, tired, and has ruined his life in an hour, right? It might also stop the canopy from, just falling down and crushing everyone who lives there. But a climber like Chopin wouldn't care about any of that. Every photo I've seen of this guy, he has a big, stern frown. But I'll bet he was grinning ear to ear when he found that red ink. Must have made you sick to your stomach. So you killed him. Then you bled him like a pig to try and destroy the documents he'd have plastered all over town. You're crazy. That's not possible. Do the people have anything to add? Emma hates losing, but she's not stupid. She must be getting sick of having to cover for this. Emma! Emma! We could go home right now, Emma. Officer Rogers. You were the one who entered the third floor first, weren't you? Yeah, what is she doing? What is she doing? Yes? How long were you there before your partner alerted you to someone escaping through the alley? More than 2 minutes, less than 3. Emma, we're in overtime. Come on. You had a chance to start looking the room over? Yes. And did you see anything as politically explosive as what the defense had described? No, of course not. Nothing of the sort. Your Honor, the witness is blatantly lying. We know the documents were there, and we know Chopin found them because they were found underneath his corpse. And it's the defense's theory that he was killed because of those documents. Because he would have tried to make them public, essentially. Yeah? That's the defense's proposed motive for this man to have killed his partner. Oh god. Why am I getting really scared now? Yeah? I see. Yeah? But why would he be prepared to kill his partner for reading documents left out on a desk? When he had over 2 minutes to simply get rid of them beforehand. Oh, God. Okay. Figure this out. Check. No! Damn it! Okay. A damn good question here. Oh, shut up. You. You sit. Between me and Emma. Do we have an answer for it? I'll find one, Sarah. I'm close. His layers are falling off. This is a cold guy. Cold enough to walk around that room, knock out Sofsky, and start calmly looking around. So is he lying? Did he actually see those papers? No, Emma's right. The papers were in plain view. He just tucked them into his jacket. The papers were in plain view. Were they? The papers were under the data pad. Right? Because, hold on. The data pad had, Chopin's fingerprints, right? Because he touched them. Crap. What's the data pad called? Yeah. Besides some partials, fingerprints are found matching those of Creek and Officer Chopin. Technicians have confirmed. Okay, yeah. So, the data pad was on top of the papers. Chopin picked up the data pad to look at that, to look at the dark card stuff, and upon that, revealed the papers underneath. Take that, Emma! Where the hell did I put them if not on the desk? I remember taking them out of Creek's safe and thinking they were nothing important, so I just... Okay. It's probably how one page got left out where it could stick to the bottom of Roger's boot. But before I left, I reorganized things. Tried to make it seem like I was never there, so I stacked things neatly. Yoo-hoo, Counselor! Any cuckoos in or around the nest? Pardon me, Your Honor. I was simply overthinking, to be honest. Officer Rogers didn't dispose of the red ink when he had the chances because he didn't notice the red ink. It's that simple. A simple answer to a simple question that simply doesn't measure up. If Officer Rogers didn't notice the red ink dots in the 2 minutes he hadn't seen, how did his partner discover them so quickly? Neither of them were looking for illicit government documents at the site of a gang shooting. Neither of them would want to start disturbing a crime scene when there were bodies and blood all around them. Correct. Rationally, neither officer would want to start making a mess of the scene. Something must have simply caught Officer Chopin's eye. Very bad luck on his part, as it turns out. Oh, you've gotta be... What the hell are you talking about? What could it have been? Sounds like a tough question to answer, but there aren't as many possibilities to sift through as you'd think, Your Honor. Because it would have been something that caught Officer Chopin's eye, yet not that of his partner. In other words, something at the scene that Officer Rogers wouldn't recognize. Money! Dude is so poor, he wouldn't recognize money. The officer knew the side of the Orcavans from the silent alarm. There was blood, corpses, all over the damn area. And if the red inks were not in plain sight, what could possibly draw his attention? Alright, hold on. I am not even gonna save. I don't even need to save. I know exactly... Oh, shit. Dark card. There it is. When Rogers first entered the crime scene, he must have seen Creek's data pad resting on top of some papers. You think the red documents were beneath the data pad at the time? That might explain why Rogers didn't notice them, but that's only half an answer. Then how's this? It was in the data pad that drew Chopin's attention, Your Honor. It was a dark card that was stuck inside of it. Didn't even save because I got it. The dark card? Seems like a little more than a fancy credit card to you or I. But if you're rich enough, it's an unmistakable sign of powerful forces at play. Exactly the kind of thing that would put a gleam in the eyes of the politically ambitious Officer Chopin. Right up until he saw the bombshell hidden underneath the data pad. Your Honor, this is speculation. Chopin's prints were discovered on the data pad, Your Honor. We know he must have picked it up. And that data pad was found by police on the desk, so we know he must have put it down. I'm merely proposing that he didn't put it back down in the exact same spot. Just because his dark card happened. Hey, seriously. What the hell have you two been talking about? Yeah. What the shit's a dark card? Yeah, he too poor. He too poor to know. Cryptographically anonymous wallet card that rich people use to buy illegal drugs and gifts for their mistresses. Not common knowledge unless you ran circles as high up as the city council. Oh. Yeah, you're right. I didn't know that. Never heard of that. Seems you're being literal. It is a dark card. Yeah, to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me. Chopin going around picking up whatever he wanted at a crime scene without even radioing in first? Sounds about right. Bare hands, mouth breathing. Guy was big on following the rules, just wasn't that good at remembering any of them. Not me, though. I remember every rule. Followed them, too. Except for the don't murder your partner rule. Partner breaks a body cam, I request a new one. Let him use mine. Stop him from getting sued by the next punk he bumps into. He just instantly contradicted himself about the dark card. It was a real risk for him. He had money. People would sue him if they could. No one would try to sue Huey Rogers. Only thing the judge would award them would be my goddamn debts. I don't think I'm bad with money. I'm just bad with debt. Can never seem to get rid of this stuff. Did you murder your partner for a dark card? Was that it? Wait. We thought you were trying to do it for like the good of the city or the lower wards, but no? Just for a credit card? Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay. I got really worried. But even I'm not so stupid that I wouldn't work gloves at a goddamn crime scene. The music in the background, I know, right? You mean? Obviously, counselor. For the minute we pulled up into that building until I was relieved from duty and sent home the next morning, I was wearing gloves. The stories, 3 stories in an alleyway, and I can swear on my parents' graves I didn't contaminate 1 millimeter of it. Didn't put my greasy fingerprints on the windows, the doors, the murder weapons. You'd never know I was even there. Is that helping your case at all, sir? So you can say I did this or claim I did that. But all the city's ever going to hear is that some Icarian bastard killed a bunch of blue blood punks. And that Tariq Chopin died a hero trying to save the day. This is... What defense is this? Right.
Adonai, is that true? Is that possible? After all this, is that possible that... But the jury, the very biased jury, who hates us, surely they can see.
The jury will see what the adjutant decides they need to see in order to properly render their verdict. If the adjutant comes to the conclusion that a witness or a line of questioning would only serve to confuse the jury...
80, Your Honor, the jury... Give me a second to think here, girl. I'm trying to build a consensus, and basically everyone's really, really mad.
So maybe the adjutant rules in our favor, and maybe the jury sees things our way. But there's no guarantees.
After all of that, it
comes down to a gamble. Always does. Yeah. But you still get a chance to sculpt your hand. And I can do a lot better than this pile of shit. Wait, that's saved differently, huh? Nope, that's what it is. I just have to take my licks first. Your Honor, I disagree. Yeah, Morgan, get him. About what exactly? About everything. Look, we know someone moved from the 3rd floor to the 2nd floor via the fire escape because of that scrap of paper. We should put him in the perfect position to walk up behind Chopin. And we know Chopin picked the data pad because his fingerprints are on it. So, we can reason Chopin was investigating the desk before he died. And of course, we know he died from the writing documents because, duh! His body was found collapsed on top of them. Put that all together and... Nothing. You still have nothing. It's Morgan time. Nothing. Except circumstantial evidence tying this witness to a theoretical sequence of events. Let's go! Garaka, hey! Emma, did you get hit on the head too? What? We have Officer Rogers' fingerprints on the murder weapon. What? What? Did we? Which murder weapon? They'll never go all in unless they think your hand is crap. Wait, what? Put on a show. Hold on. Hold on. What are we doing here? Oh, okay. That's right, the bat. I know, right? We did. Did you think we would notice you left your fingerprints on just because it was broken into splinters? The baseball bat used on Trey? Forensic failed to pull a single print from that. Is this your idea of a joke? Jeez, take it easy. I misspoke a little. Also, I don't have my reading glasses. What? The Mag US that was used to kill Tankson Creek. Pretty stupid to forget to wipe your prints off a piece of that gaudy, don't you think? Put on a show, right? Counselor, what is this? Are you throwing a tantrum? Making a mockery of the courtroom? The only prints on that gun belong to Sosuke Ikuria. Oh, sorry. Guess I was thinking of another case. Is there a gas leak on the other side of that courtroom? How about my knife? Well, don't I feel stupid? What I'm trying to say is that Officer Rogers failed to notice that he left his fingerprints on the most important weapon of all. The very blade that took his partner's life. Enough of this embarrassment. What the hell's wrong with you? I knew a mob lawyer would be corrupt and vile, but how can you be such a stupid bimbo? Excuse me? A bimbo? What slang is this? What type of slang is this? Do you think we're all idiots? My fingerprints are on that goddamn knife and you know it. Bro, have we brought in the knife yet? Okay, we gotta kill him for that one. Dude. The katana. You weren't here for the, what do you call it? The stricken from, what do you call it thing? He's showing up with the katana. Hey dude, I don't dislike you until now then. Emma's like, you goddamn idiot. Oh, my mistake. Yes. I was just reading the fine details and disappear. Had your fingerprints on that knife. Sorry. Yeah. You. Oh dear. What? What is it? Oh. I guess we're all just wondering. How long have you known it was this knife that was... Oh, because we just called it the blade and not the katana. Okay, that too. Hell yeah. How long have you known it was this knife that was used to kill your partner? Eat shit, Rogers! Okay. Confused? So are these two. Because like you, neither of them were in the courtroom when Dr. Sato updated her autopsy report. So I knew that Chopin was killed with a knife. And the people know that Chopin was killed with a knife. How did you know that, Rogers? There must have been 50 cops in there within that doctor. Far fewer than 50, actually. More like 0. Bro pulled him on down. We had already emptied the courtroom by then. A courtesy we extended to a blue blood witness. You. For some blue blood rat? You, yeah. A harpy? I'm sorry. We got called a bimbo and a harpy in 5 minutes. You crazy harpy. Trying to trick me in the last seconds? You think I walked in there unprepared? No, of course not. She's right there, Rockford, the prosecutor. Before I took the stand, she told me all about the knife. Because the second shooting. So that's your plan. Right, Rockford? Before I came here, didn't you? It's always great to reveal a full house and rake in the pot. It's even better to reveal a hand full of shit you bluff your way to victory with. Say something already. Just say it. But every now and then, a different kind of victory comes along. Where you just get to sit back and watch someone else self-destruct. Because they completely misread the dealer. Say it. Say that you... Oh, I am saving this one for sure. She's like, did you just call my girlfriend a harpy and a bimbo? Shut up. I was tired of this BS. What? Just shut up. Is that so hard? Are my instructions unclear? Do you need me to salute you first? Stop talking. You are completely, utterly, 100% guilty. Yes! Why the hell would I perjure myself to help you? But, hey, start counting. Because from this second on, every word that comes out of your mouth adds directly to the number of years you're gonna rot in jail. Unless those words are your own confession. He's a hound of Ikaria. He murders for the mob. We could put him away. They don't want to put him away. Not for your crime. Not for murdering the son of 2 city councilmen. Have you lost your goddamn mind? Burn him, Emma, burn him. But he's a murderer. Well, I mean, 2/3 of this courtroom is currently murderers. Not all murderers are created equally. Well, not all murderers are hunted equally. Nobility assassinating each other. Let it ride, keeps them divided. Orcas fighting in the lower wards. Let them sort it out, keeps their numbers down. A monster shoots... yeah, a terrible, terrible monster shoots 6 women in the heart and leaves no evidence behind. Call us back when he kills someone important. Strange. When she's properly infuriated, there's usually no stopping her. Well, if she's not going to twist the knife herself, I shouldn't let it go to waste. Your Honor, if the witness is having trouble choosing a place to start for his confession, perhaps I might help by laying out the details for him. You sadistic bitch! He was counting on Emma to step in. Now he's sliding down the rocky face of despair. Fingernails split and bloody as he attempts in vain to slow the descent. Not very dignified, so I won't leave him hanging. I'll be happy to speed him along. In summary. A week ago, you acquired a blue blood distress signal when you arrested Tanks, but your partner insisted on letting him go and keeping the code to yourselves. So, the night of the murder, when the alarm went out, he jumped at the chance to be the first unit on the scene at what could be a gang shootout. You did all you could to stall, but your partner pressed on, and even shot open the door in his hurry to get into the locked building. You made up an excuse to keep him on the 2nd floor, and proceeded to the 3rd on your own, relieved that everyone was already dead. And, puzzled by delirious Sosuke, who you knocked out with one blow to the back of the head, but by calling down to your partner to convince him, you were already too late. You alerted an orca hiding downstairs. And when they flew out the window and down into the alley, you opened the windows of the crime scene to give chase. While you were scanning the alley from the 2nd floor fire escape, your partner proceeded upstairs, where he was just as stunned as you were, but intrigued by the presence of a dark card you'd never recognize. He knew that it pointed towards the involvement of powerful parties. It was simply bad luck that he found the Reading documents before you. But he must have felt like he won the lottery. He was the one man in the city who'd benefit the most from exposing the corruption it hinted at. He must have been salivating at the opportunity right in front of you, standing in the blood without a second thought. You had taken the knife from Sosuke, hadn't even thought about it up until that point. You knew, once the rest of the force arrived, there'd be no stopping the Reading from going on record. You had one chance to blot it out for good. That's all. It's all a lie, just smoke and mirrors, tricks and guesswork. The Hound of Ikaria is standing right there next to you. The Blue Blood themselves even tried to kill him right in front of all of us. Oh, no, they didn't. Excuse me? I have it on very good authority the Blue Bloods wouldn't want my client assassinated. Oh, I'm sure. So consider where the shooter was and the direction he was aiming. The only person he could have been aiming at would be, well... you. What the hell are you talking about? Seems like the old guard want to make sure there'd be a swift punishment for letting Prop 492 blow up. So you can keep protesting your innocence if you want. It might work out. And you might be able to avoid the next Blue Blood to come after you. And the next after that. You might survive just long enough to end up the only casualty in a tragically unavoidable case of friendly fire. Your Blue's coming in after you from above and below. Who gets there first is a coin toss, so tell me,
You feeling lucky?
Do ya? Do you, punk? Well, you. Any questions? You and this DA, you're... Officer? You're both. You're all out of your goddamn minds.
You won!
I wonder if I was gonna try charging Sosuke for the tank in them. Because technically that wouldn't be our problem, right? I mean, kind of, but not really.
Do you work for the Blue Bloods?
Never thought of it that way. Take that L, Rogers. Even back when I was a kid, I thought they were just another institution. Like a neighborhood watch. People looking out for each other. Everyone's parents off working or enlisted or in jail for civil disobedience. Whole neighborhood that's cops, medics, goddamn firemen wouldn't set foot in. Didn't see it as transactional. I thought I was just lending a hand. My blood ain't worth shit. I wasn't useful enough to be a young blood, not good looking enough to be a host. But I kept going to school and they helped me pay for it. And because it was in fact transactional, they expected to get something in return. Police Academy, their man on the inside. It wasn't as exciting as it sounds. I made sure it wasn't. Test scores sucked, aptitude sucked, clumsy and boring. I made sure nobody would want to give me anything important to do. So that's why he faked. Okay, that's why he did that. Valuable enough that the Blue Bloods wouldn't out me. Not valuable enough that the cops would give me anything worth passing on. The world's worst double agent. So bad at his job, he'd never be expected to double-cross anyone. Imagine the look on my face and my reputation for nothingness gets me paired up with the worst babysitting job on the force.
Tariq Chopin.
We were perfectly matched in a way. I didn't want to be near nothing, and nobody wanted to let him near anything. Nothing dangerous enough to get him hurt, nothing really enough that he'd go blabbing to his dad's. He ran around to schools. Those are the jobs we'd get.
Building security?
Morning assemblies. Telling the kids what cops do and here's how to call for help. You were a goddamn joke.
There are worse things to be. Like Dad.
You think I don't know that? You think I gave a shit that kids were laughing at us in the back of the class? The teens are throwing soda cans at our car? Good for them, at least they were having fun. Tariq was never having fun, he was just burning inside. Humiliation and bile, a stomach full of it. If he hadn't found the code on tanks that day, I don't know. Guy would have either put his 2 weeks notice or just drawn his gun and walked into the nearest Orca mansion.
So, when you two arrived at the building...
Happened like the defense attorney said. I told Chopin some bullshit about smelling contraband on the second floor. He started poking around. Damn harsh, right? And I went straight to the third floor because that's where bosses would hang out back when I was a kid. Where they give us spare change to buy their groceries and pick up their laundry. We never met this creek or his pod in my life until we stopped in Kirtan. Different gens. I never seen anything like the bloodbath in that room. All 4 of the pod were dead when I got there. Believe me, don't believe me. I ain't no hound to be Korea. I don't even think he could have done that either. Considering how he stumbled out of that water closet like a bloody water balloon. I did whack him in the back of the head, but my hand to God, I'm not convinced it did anything. Face down out in the blood out like that, couldn't have woke him up with a nuke. When the hound dropped, I searched him, followed protocol, found that knife in his hand. I called down, said everyone was dead, that Blue Blood bolted, Tariq called after them. And yeah, I opened the window and tried to follow. I guess Tariq didn't know the ladder was out, figured I would chase him down, because by the time I stepped back inside, he was upstairs. And I walked up the stairs expecting him to be puking, crying, shaking, I don't know. Instead, he starts yelling down, happy, ecstatic. He can't believe this scoop of the century. And I realize I know what he's talking about. Your Blue Blood superiors let you know about Prop 492. Lots of people knew the deal with Prop 492. Even non-bloodied civvies. Nothing wrong with any of that, so long as it stayed a rumor. So long as the state didn't know we knew where the pillars were going to be built. It was a nice thing, believe it or not. People in the lower wards whispering about big money coming in. A little excitement to look forward to. Tariq was excited too. All he could see was forward. Barely reading the words in front of his eyes. Not giving a shit about anything behind him. Not caring about what he was trampling over. I didn't plan on doing anything, if that matters, if you care. I was moving slow, but I wasn't trying to hide. After taking it off the hound, I still had that knife. That goddamn knife in my hand. You all seem like educated people, so... I take it none of you believe in evil. Yeah, sure. We believe in evil down the lower wards. It's like a fog. Hangs around certain people, places, and it poured off that knife like a water fountain. Damn, so you're saying I'm contagious? Jeez. The devil made you do it? Haven't heard that one in a while. If it wasn't for that dark card being there. You know, Tariq told me once, said he wanted to become mayor. I just did that stupid fake laugh and told him he had my vote. I don't know why I did that. I shouldn't have done any of that. Evil's now courageous, contagious. Laughed at him? Shouldn't have lied to him. And so, Your Honor, the people will be dismissing the charge of homicide in the first degree with prejudice. What does that mean? They can't charge you with Officer Chopin's murder again at a later date just because they found more evidence. And the 4 other charges of second-degree homicide? You're dismissing the 4 charges of second-degree homicide without prejudice. Guess what? You're all evil now, right? So, she's not quite convinced I couldn't have killed Creek's pod. Miller's blood, having already been on the knife you used to get free, in the first place was pretty huge. Combined with Rogers admitting that you basically stumbled out a walking corpse. But the way the state sees it, their murders aren't any more solid than they were at the beginning of this trial. It's to be expected. Then the jury will be dismissed and this court will be adjourned. And you, Mr. Ikaria, are kind of free to go, but you know. Are you safe? Not the most. Everything that's happened to you in the last few days, how is that leaving you so shocked? I'm not shocked, I'm just grateful, counselor. You have my ahem. Your Honor, is there perhaps something else you want to say? Oh, well, if you insist. I guess for some reason, even though the jury's been dismissed, and it's actually their job to do this part, and the charges were dropped. You did not expect to walk out of that room, right? I have this strong, overwhelming urge to say, not guilty! Not guilty. No, that needs to be much bigger, like across the whole screen, please. Maybe, I cast ye innocent. No, that sounds dumb. Woo! Not guilty! Confetti! I guess you can mass dance this. Hold on. Mass dance! Not guilty! Woo! Freedom! Okay. State building. Floor 48. So, how do you plan on celebrating? Ad and I, we won. In case you two someone missed it, let's go back to the host club. I want that champagne thing that we gave away. And won so definitively that the police and even the Blue Bloods can't hold a grudge. Congrats for finishing the case. Yay! And now to wait, like, what? A year? For next case. I understand. It's okay. I will wait. I will wait patiently. Champagne time after the first trial. Right after the trial, right? My apologies. I'm grateful to you, of course. It's just that I still haven't gotten an answer to the question that's been haunting me. Who gave you the knife? Who killed everybody? Why? Even more so than whether or not I killed Chopin. Somebody slaughtered Creek's entire pod. Then they had my life in the palm of their hand and framed you, Sosuke. I don't think they were doing you any favors. And if they did, they let me live. It feels strange owing something to someone so unknowable. Well, you have plenty of time to think about it, spending the rest of your life hiding your head in the sand.
ignoring the vast riches that sit untapped in a savings account across the sea. Adonai, he's made his stance quite clear. I don't intend to hide, Morgan. The Blue Bloods can try whatever they like. And they can find me standing right where I've always stood. Protecting my family. Aw. Seems like, oh yeah, bring back Makoto. Seems like there's someone who'd like to speak with you about just that. Sosuke! Young master! Please forgive me, young master. I have failed you repeatedly. I'll accept any punishment. Very well. 108 years of manual labor. Oh. Makoto, welcome back, you sassy child. Yeah, it's about as merciful as I expected. At least you picked a good number. 100 and... Of course, young master. You'll need to spend the sentence serving as my head of security. So that I know you're actually doing it. And that means you won't be able to do other jobs anymore. Even the ones the elders ask you to do. Even delivering messages. It's a punishment handed down by the heir of the noble house Ikaria, Sosuke. Who could possibly overrule it? Your grandpa? As you say. I'll start right away if you don't mind. That's probably wise. Grandfather is outside in the motorcade, and he's had nothing but criticisms for the current formation. The chairman is here. He came here? Probably just happened to be on his way to the airport. He is, Counselor Morgan. Surprisingly astute of you. Although he is leaving quite early, if he just wants to get to the airport. None of our private planes are even fueled. It seems to be a universal truth that old people like to get to the airport. I like getting to the airport, or I like getting at least 2 to 3 hours early also. I don't know. I feel like if an Uber leaves, you're like, oh, that's fine, you get another Uber. If a whole plane leaves, like, what do you do at that point, right? So I will be there so dang early, and I would just, like, plug into, like, my phone into, like, little chargers and just, like, watch YouTube or something. That sounds very wise, Sarah of House Paralegal. Who are you quoting? My old... No, I'm not old. Then, if you'll excuse me for a moment, Counselor. Yeah, feel free to. Take Sarah with you. Pardon? If you don't let her look at your tattoo now, I'll never hear the end of it. Yes, well that's... Right, then. I'll, find a corner to lift up my shirt. A moment later. She appear help. Congratulations, Counselor. You succeeded on all fronts. Thanks. Not satisfied? Makoto seems to be in a good mood. If you ask him for a bonus now... Shouldn't I just negotiate with my employer directly? You're the one who hired me, aren't you? At the very least, you're the one who put my name forward to Makoto. It's easy to see looking back. Really faded into existence. You're the only one who acted in Sosuke's interest this entire time. Who isn't a child. And what of it? Why me? Why does it matter? Because I value my privacy. I want to know why a woman with your resources would put an ant like me under her magnifying glass. Such cruel metaphors you employ. Someone who values their privacy that much should in the future avoid directly confronting the board of multinational corporations. Noble's board of directors, you were... Not among them myself, but when one woman shifts the opinion of a room that's stagnant, even by a millimeter, word gets around. My, you really are a shy little girl. You love the smoke effect? Same. No putting the genie back in the bottle, but I won't recommend you to anyone else if it bothers you that much. Thanks. Though, you can be pretty shy yourself, letting Makoto take all the credit. Why the subterfuge? I have already overextended myself in this matter. A woman from my side of the house intruding upon IFG's business. Also, I have to save in a bit. Let me just save just in case something happens. I don't mind that I'll have to rip out fingernails in front of the elders as recompense, but I thought I might spare myself the additional pinky or so. being literal, aren't you? Disobedience always has a cause. Always has... Wait, hold on. Sorry, I think I read that wrong. Always has a cost. Especially in old families. Especially for daughters. But not flinching as you pay the toll carries its own kind of power, don't you think? Maybe I'm just trying to dress up my cowardice as dignity. Disobedience used to come naturally to me. It gets harder the older you get. Harder to believe your independence wasn't just immaturity. That's why I'm glad Makoto's such a good boy. I don't want him to feel any guilt later in life. Yeah, Makoto certainly takes his responsibilities seriously. Can't imagine where he gets it from. I was such a hellraiser. He must get it from his father. I suppose so. An interesting mark below Sosuke's eye. Looks like a mole, but seems to be hereditary. What? What? Wait, hold on. Sorry. What? What? Right? Right? It was covered up so we never saw it. Was this true? What? I'm trying to math in my head, bro. Does Makoto know Sosuke's his father? Random info drop at the end. Does Sosuke? And Sosuke knew? I'd be very disappointed in Sosuke's intelligence if he didn't. That's why Sosuke left the family to join the military, wasn't it? Why he asked to become the Hound when he came back. Self-imposed exile for interfering with your arranged marriage. Interfering. We were younger then, but we still knew what we were doing. We knew there was no stopping the marriage. If we didn't cover up the pregnancy, others would. Or just eliminate the problem themselves. Sosuke left before the bridal shower. A sudden enlistment, certainly, but I don't blame him for not wanting to be there on guard duty as I married another man. If Makoto was Sosuke's son, though, that means he carries his blood. If he said to inherit from both his father and mother his worth. I understand this is going to be hard for you to believe coming from a woman like me. But Makoto's already worth enough. He has his health. He has his mother. And his father will always be close by. Every moment we share as a family is worth its weight in gold. As you see now, when given the opportunity to choose between Makoto and the blue blood fortune. Oh my god! So him constantly saying no, he's not going to leave with the money is because he wants to protect his family! Sosuke chose the former. All of you, you could have it all. Why don't you want it all? We already have it. I see. You don't understand, do you? I hope you do someday. I hope you find love, Morgan. Okay. Let's get back to something I fully understand then. Bargaining. I want more champagne. One blood test from Makoto could split your precious house right down the middle. Your husband would be infuriated, assuming he still has a pulse. And whatever connections you married him for would burn up in seconds. So unless you guarantee me that I'm free to turn down any job. Don't make unnecessary threats, counselor. It makes you look weak. Take it from experience. You're always free to leave the house. But if you find yourself slinking back, don't be too hard on yourself about it. It's just what the house does. Now, would you excuse me? Sosuke seems to have satisfied your companion's curiosity for the time being, and it's very rare for him to have any time to himself. You don't understand, do you? Aww. And then Emma appears, like, you don't understand love, do you, counselor? And it was like, hey, how you doing? Counselor Morgan.
Emma. Emma, what's that look for? So, that's 2 wins for me now, isn't it? After Rogers went nuts and perjured himself all over the place, you're calling that shitstorm a win? It definitely wasn't a loss. You're ridiculous. Thanks, by the way, for letting things play out as long as they did. I imagine you want to put the brakes on things a number of times back there. But now that's all out, my client won't be getting knifed by cops or blue bloods. At least not for anything he didn't do. You think I was happy to let the hand of Ikaria walk out my courtroom? Your courtroom? I'll have a word on the, I'll have to have a word with the adjutant. Please don't. But yeah, I had my doubts. The OC unit has been getting a number of odd reports in the last 24 hours, truth be told. When Roger says it's perjuring time and perjure all over the place. What do you mean? Burst of anonymous tips about figures in red being spotted around Creek's place before and after the killing. Figures in red? That's right. The rest. Oh, right. Rest. Definitely not, you know, anyone wearing a red hoodie. For sure, not us. I don't like the timing. It's not as if the OC can ignore the idea altogether. Someone killed those four, and it wasn't so scary Rogers. And if you don't like the rest for it, where's your head at? Whoever killed Creek's pod did it with such unhinged brutality. And yet, it was executed with such precision, so cold-blooded, that they managed to virtually erase their presence from the scene afterwards. Yeah. Tanks and Creek were both shot from fairly close range, and near enough to their solar plexuses, I suppose. Bashing Trey's skull in was an overkill, yes, but it was the safest way to erase anything his mods may have recorded. And even if it was an afterthought, that overcorrection is in line with perfectionism interrupted by... Ugh, forget it. I'm seeing things that aren't there. First sign of obsession. Yeah, why would you obsess with some red-headed killer of any kind, huh? That'll just lead to heartbreak. Obsession? I'm jealous. You seem like you never let anything get to you. It's unpleasant, you know, feeling like you're possessed by something or someone. Well, if it was easy to wrest control back, it wouldn't be an obsession. Just puppy love. Oh, that's me. Gotta take this call. See you around, Morgan. Yeah, see you around. Just don't go telling anyone that was a win, or I'll have you arrested for spreading misinformation. Well, we can't have that. Okay, Morgan. I filled my obligation to Sarah now, so now you can buy me a goddamn drink. Pardon? You can start your 108-year sentence tomorrow. I've got some paperwork we need to go through before then, and I'm not doing this sober. Oh, you're serious? Of course I am. Everyone knows it's tradition for a client to buy their lawyer a drink after being charges like this. And in this city, they take him to one special bar, Kintsugi. Champagne, champagne, champagne. I've never heard of that tradition, or that bar. Yes, well, you've lived a very sheltered life under the roof of House Ikaria, but I forgive your ignorance. Time for you to put that fat wallet you've been incurring this whole time to good use. I suppose I do owe you a great deal. Very well, but first, I must inform Lady Mire and the young master. Go right ahead. Be my guest.
What was that about, Adonai? Did you want to get a look at Sosuke's tattoo as well?
I'll take a rain check.
Sosuke seems much more animated this afternoon, don't you think? Did you say something to him?
No. No, I didn't do anything. Oh, oh. It's little Makoto and his parents. Oh my god, that's precious as all hell. I love it. I'm so happy for them.
I see. Then perhaps his injuries were just more taxing on him than we realized.
That must be it, Sarah. It had been threatening to rain all day. The cuties, the cuties!
Gray skies spanning a slate blue world. It was cold, and all the heaters were humming in their rush to overcorrect for it. At 3, raindrops started hitting the windowsills. Not a problem. She had her umbrella. At 3:15, adults are leaning back in their chairs. Watches and phones are being checked. They're preparing to leave. At 3:24, another topic is brought up. The gathering resigns themselves to a continuation. It's 3:45 by the time the girl is able to excuse herself. She has 15 minutes to get back to school. Hardly impossible on foot if she hurried, but she could have asked to be driven there. For some reason, the thought never crossed her mind. She hesitates at the door. She left her umbrella behind back upstairs. It's not like her to be so absent-minded. The smart thing to do would be to go back up and get it. It's 3:49. At 3:51, she is jogging, a non-committal yet undignified rush. When she sees the time on her phone roll over to 3:52, she starts to run. She hates running. There's a soft below. A small part of her considers sending a text. She'd never been the one to text first. Come to think of it, she'd never been the one to text second. She only had one number on her phone's contacts after all. At 3:56, the school's gates are in sight. Her eyes had been straining to see them. She wasn't looking down. Her knee stung in a shallow, sharp way. The palms of her hand were embedded with specks of gravel where she caught herself. Rain-diluted blood ran faintly down her leg as she dripped water into the mundanely tiled floors of the hallway. At 3:59, she pauses to at least catch her breath before sliding the door open. If her heart hadn't been beating so loudly in her ears, she would have easily heard the voices behind it. Where'd you even come up with this stuff? Hey, I can't promise it's gonna be exciting every week around here, but... Ev, what are you... I thought you had a family thing. Oh shit, are you okay? What happened? You're soaked and... I thought... Who are all... We're the Mystery Club. Name pending, I hope. I was told the name could change. You're right, Ev. I just went around to people on campus and tried being friendly, being myself, and... people started signing up. But forget that, your knee. It's fine. You stay freezing, let me give you your coat. Screw it. Just carry you to nurse myself. Stop. Man, this girl just showed up and she's bleeding. What, bleeding? Everyone stand back. Where is she? Who? Yeah, what is her name? I don't know, I don't think I've seen her before. You, girl, come with me. We're taking you to the infirmary. Ma'am, she's cold. That's very nice of you, but it's not sanitary to share uniforms. Stay here and wait for the floors to be cleaned. You're in the heartbeat, right? Ev, Don't worry about it. I can walk on my own. Was her friend baby Emma? Huh, okay. And with a little sprinkle of salt just along the edge. Yeah, it was baby Morgan right there, but like, because in those flashbacks. Yeah, no, we know it's young. We know it's baby Morgan because Ev for Evangeline. We know that. But the friend she's always talking to, the one who we haven't seen yet. Was that baby Emma? Maybe. I mean young, but like, I don't know who the other person is. Or maybe someone we haven't met yet. Maybe Emma and baby Morgan, maybe. Because Morgan not being, personable, could start the club on her own. But the other person being really personable and able to. And again, is Emma that personable outside of, she's has that sleepy personality, so maybe not. It's gotta be someone else then, I would think. There you have it. Oh, that looks wonderful, thank you. Of course. Let me know if you need anything else. I must admit, Morgan, this is quite a fine establishment. And so exclusive. The whole staff here on hand to attend just the two of us. I can't imagine what the waiting list must be like. Right? Lucky for you. You've got a man working on the inside. I can assure you a table at any time, Sosuke. You or any of your housemates ever need a quiet spot to lay low from the judging eyes of high society? Now you know where to send them. I might just do that. And these prices are so reasonable. Oh shit. Knew I should have gone with digital menus. Hey, Sosuke. That name they have for you, the Hound. That a title you were given or just a part of the mantle you chose to take up?
No, I was called that long before I started delivering messages. Long before I got my tattoo. Truth be told, I'm not sure where it came from or when people started using it. Childhood nickname, I suppose.
Earned by following Mire around like a puppy?
What? You would do that? No. Who told you Mire? But when we, it's a miracle you didn't break under torture. You know that. Morgan, be subtle. The Hound of Ikaria. Oh, he a hound dog. That's what I'm trying to say he is. So everyone called you a dog when you were just a kid. This man's a disaster. Jokingly. Lovingly.
Mire's right. I don't know anything about the... One of the many things I've long since acknowledged that I'm missing. An obsession? Addiction? Those are easy enough to grasp. I've rolled the dice plenty of times by now. There are no demons haunting me, no other drivers in the car. Just me, my contagious evil knife, sitting in the dark with a hole in my chest. When it's hungry, I feed it. But it'll never be full. Because the hole was there first. And it built a girl around itself so it would have a place to hide. How can you tell? That they called you that lovingly. I suppose you never know. You just trust. And if you do trust, then that's your answer. And besides, what's insulting with being compared to a dog?
Everyone loves dogs. It was Mira that called him. That was being a line. Probably even you.
For your information, I like dogs just fine, Sosuke. But I could never live as one. Everyone's already collared in this world, tagged, labeled, classified, and put in a box. But even so, I refuse to sit at the end of someone's leash. Better to remain astray.
Credits! Credits! We're at the end! We reached the end of chapter 2, episode 2. God. That's it. Two banger episodes after another. Like, goddamn. And, oh my god. Chapter 2 is so peak. It's so hard to, like, say, like, which, like, the demo was crazy. The demo was absolutely insane. I love chapter 0 so much. I love chapter 2 a lot, too. And chapter 1 was so fun also. Like, yeah, chapter episodes. Like, I don't know. How are they gonna top this, right? Like, things are to go absolutely insane in episode 3. Yeah, clap. Mass firework and dance for this game. Oh my god. Mass firework. Mass dance. And let me just get to the end there. I want to see if I can get, I want to get any new things with my new money. This game is so good, right? Again, and I could have met the devs, and I couldn't. Unfortunately, the entire convention was sold out, and I couldn't meet them, and I'm so sad about that. I wanted to meet it so bad and be like, hey, love the game. Only got a few minutes, but it was peak. Yeah, it's so great. It's so great, Goom. Of the episode of the devil, episode 2, his due, Ben. Oh, saving that picture too. Look at him pointing to his family picture. I love it. Drunk. He's like, look at him. Look at my family. That's perfect. Oh, the kid.
I wasn't looking out for anything in particular. The rest give me and the others food and stuff, or telling them where the blues go and who they talk to. My shoes have been feeling too small, and the blue guys in that building have been really busy lately. I thought if I hung around there, I might see something the rest would give me new shoes for. But I never saw anything worth anything. So you gave up? No, I got scared.
What scared you?
You won't believe me. No one believes me. Everyone says I'm a liar.
Everyone says I'm a liar too.
Are you?
I can't remember. You see, somebody took something that belonged to me. Oh no! Right, the person we stole from in the very beginning of the chapter.
Uh-oh.
It was like the hunter or something like that? Whatever they called them.
I don't feel right without it. But I think you could help me find it. What'd you lose? My face. I saw the red hood. Except she was a lady, not a girl. And she didn't have her hood up. I didn't get a good look at her face, but she was all red. Red hair? What's this? Gold. Thanks. But are you sure I wasn't any help? You've been a huge help. Now I know to look for red hair. I tracked more elusive prey with less. We gotta run. Oh god. To be continued. Of the Devil, episode 3. Quoting scripture. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm just gonna be wow. Oh my god. We gotta pick up Sarah, even though we can't. And we gotta, oh god. A grade? I miss an article? How did I miss an article? Got all the profiles. Got all the key terms. Thank god I got all the evidence. Earned 300 credits. Your high score is currently 311. Ooh, I got art. I got art. You also have a total of 367 remaining store credits. It's been... Okay. Let's buy things. Oh, let's look at the concept gallery first, actually. And then we'll wrap up. We'll wrap this up. Morgan, we're so fucked. Okay. What's new? Wait, what is... The heart fake killer? Heart fake killer? Are we gonna get a, Aww. I don't remember. Okay, that looks like that's all chapter, the last chapter. There's, God, Sato's tattoos are so cool. I love this entire outfit. Still gonna cosplay Sarah, but still a rainy outfit. Okay, yeah, that's last chapter. That tattoo is still so good, right? Okay, so we got Creek, we got Trey. Very cool. Miller's, I love Miller's, you saw Makoto? Yay, look at Makoto. I love Miller's silly little face so much. Aww. Oh my god, and look, and there's a picture. It looks so snarly. Diamani's, oh, I missed Diamani? Oh, I did. Thank you. Heck yeah. Oh, look at his scar. Oh. Wait. Was he a boxer or anything beforehand? Those look like boxing scars, like when you punch things a lot. Alright, we got them. Hans, sorry, I accused you of murder. My bad. Nice. You love this art, right? Tariq and Hughie. Yeah. Her name is Hana, right? Hana! Dang, yeah. Also, oh, that's proof now. That's proof it's not heterochromia. She actually did steal somebody's eye. Or steal like a young person's eye and put it in. After her eye got marked out. I like how there's like the young ones with them too. That's cool. Yeah. Damn. Okay. I think I'm gonna make this hoodie for myself too. Yeah. I'm gonna make myself this hoodie. Well, okay, hold on. The hoodie looks so cool. Yeah, it's like wait. Depending on when it comes out. That sends out of context, man. Depending on when this comes out. If our next chapter, if it comes out in the colder weather, I'll make sure I have Sarah's cosplay done by then. If it comes out in a slightly warmer weather, but not like, I don't know, then I'll have Morgan cosplay of this outfit. I definitely want to do one of them at least. We're just speaking of right now. Let me save this photo. Yay.
Because I want that jacket. I want that jacket so bad. Alright, last thing before I let you guys go. Let's go shopping. Let's go shopping in the store. I forgot how to do that. Don't first save the game. Right there's good. Shopping, shopping. Oh no, did I do that wrong? Bonuses? And then I can go shopping? How do I shop? There we go. I'm like, how do I shop? I forgot. Oh. Oh my god. I love it. I love it. That was free too. Oh, so. The eyes. Look at those little eyes. Look at them. Okay, never mind. I think I'm actually really rich. I think I've bought everything already. Oops, my bad. You need that, right? I know they're talking about. So I don't have Bunny Reyes, so I don't have Bunny Sarah. I need those two. Look at them. Oh yeah, I know they put out a question thingy of just like, hey, is anyone interested in getting like merch from this game? And I filled that survey out, and I'm like, yes, please, please. I want all this. I want all the charms. I'm gonna keep that one for now. And then my phone color, I'm back to my rose gold. Oh, I must get red now since I have Morgan. Okay, so we're gonna see. I'm gonna have extra shifts at work for this next month because one of my coworkers is going to Japan for a month. So we gotta cover those shifts. So I want to see what my schedule's gonna be kind of looking like, and if it is, I'll put another non-Fangan game for Tuesdays. I know of Stars in Time was a game that was recommended to me a long time ago, but Amori was recommended to me, I believe, and re-recommended recently, and something I've always wanted to play because, you know, I always want to support characters with Ace characters in it. Yes, Stars in Time. Yes, Stars in Time. So that probably will be the next Eclipse. What a time! What a time to come back. It's about ending. Okay, and apparently everyone loves in Stars in Time. Apparently. Okay, so I feel like I don't even need to put it to a poll. Yeah. Yes. Oh, that's awkward, Dan. Well, here, I'll give y'all some monodams. So yeah, so it's not gonna be next week, not for sure. So probably just have like, if my workplace is like, hey, you can still have Tuesday nights off because you know how to cover those shifts, then not next week, but the week after, definitely be at. I'll start in Stars in Time, and we'll see how that goes. Cause I feel like I really do want to play 100 Line Defense Academy. It just seems so long, right? Like, isn't Weeby News still playing that game? And I feel like if I play it, I'm never going to get to anything else, I feel. But I do want to do 100 Line. Because I did just do, just like one stream of that only. Poll, even if you do in Stars in Time will win, because even if you do in Stars in Time, because there's a prequel. Can see which to do first if you want to. Oh, there's a prequel? Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, it's huge, because you have to do 100 days per route. And the routes are long. When I was playing it, I did not get very far at all. But it's interesting, and I only just like 5 characters so far, and apparently I've only met half the people. It's quite big, it's impressive. Yeah, no, it's super cool. You started running a multi-fandom Danganronpa? Oh, okay, like characters from other stuff into like a Danganronpa killing game? Cause that's kind of neat. Yeah, and the thing with the 100 Span 2 is there's a lot of really long action scene type things.
Which I know I was just gonna do videos. I was gonna cut those down and cut them short so you don't see the same like fights over and over again that last really long. But I don't have time to do videos anymore. As you've probably seen, like I mostly just do only live. I pretty much almost exclusively just do live now. Sarah, hey, hi, thank you. we just solved all the murders. Yeah, I'm not gonna finish it. You've seen full playthroughs with no commentary, and those videos are long. And yeah, and with no commentary. I can't shut up. I am terrible at shutting up for long periods of time. Like sometimes, every murder was solved today. We solved all the murders. Only made it to like day 80 or so, the common route before this. See, I was saying like, and you have to do at least one route before you can like unlock everything else, I think. I don't know, it's what I've heard. Have I played any Sherlock Holmes games? I don't think I have. Hold on, let me pull up. Let's pull up the library. Down. Let's go to Steam. I think I own one. It's like this, like Nemesis and things like that. We love long games. 100. Yeah. I was like, I think what's the longest series I have on here? I feel like Amori's pretty long. And that was, I did all the fighting of that. Chapter 1, their Master Awakened was amazing. Oh, so this one. Okay. Let me click it and look at it. Yep, January 1st, 2026. That's my birthday. Okay, hold on. Let me close out this and let's watch. Nope. Main menu. I can get out of this game. It's not January 1st. My birthday's not January 1st. I'm absolutely a September. I'm a Libra. I'm a September person. Okay, so let's go and play this in the meantime. Look at this real quick. That looks neat. Yeah, hold on. Let me just add this to a wish list. And yeah, that looks neat. That looks neat. It does have heavy topics. Very cool. That's fine. That's fine. A suggestion of the fruitiness. We love it. Yay. Yeah. So again, I will figure this out. But yeah. So next week,
There's gonna be no Tuesday stream, okay? Just minimum Friday. We'll see about Saturday. Oh, wait, no, wait, hold on. The Valentine's stream. A Valentine's stream, hold on. That's Saturday. Okay, so yeah, sorry. Next week for sure. Friday, Saturday. Because Saturday, I gotta find a silly game. Right, Valentine's. Yeah, because we gotta smooch something weird. That's how it's gonna go. I don't know what to. Because I feel like I've done them all. And I can't find the printer one. Like, I remember there was a date. I forgot which company printer. It wasn't Canon. But there was like one printer game. There date printers. But I can't find an English translation of it anymore. So that one's off. I did all the Cthulhu dating ones. I've done Mr. KFC, man. I did date everything. Quite literally. You also bet, yay, switchy things. Don't you start on the horror dating sim you just got recommended? You don't have any silly ones, sadly. Yeah, I did, Oh! Date with Death. Is the sequel coming out? Date with Death sequel 2. Did that come out? We can kiss like a Reaper again. By dating everything, can you no longer date any longer? Oh no, not yet. 2026. Damn it! Here we go again. Gotta date death again. Alright, honey, I won't play a whole trailer right now. Let's just... Wait, other deaths? Wait. Those aren't Casper. Who is this? Train, chat, and flirt your way through the underworld in this romantic story-driven chat simulator. Create a Grim Reaper. Okay, so we're gonna be a Grim Reaper ourselves, and we can date other... Oh, how many... Oh my god, how many romance options are there? You might have to make every character out. Oh my god. Where's Casper? I guess we're not Casper. We're a Grim Reaper this time. Okay, but not... This doesn't say next week. Well, I mean, it's on the list. Let's fire. I mean, we're gonna look at the what do you call it? If the girl Reapers are cuter than the boy Reapers, we're gonna make a really cute girl Reaper. Says it's a Valentine's Day in July. A poll for wild dating sims is needed. Yeah. I will figure out. Yeah. Silver to date with Death and Date. Yeah, I know. I played those. I played them all. Alright, I gotta wrap up the stream. I have to wrap up the stream. Let's pay out top fans. Number 1 is Stream Elements, so we're gonna skip that. Number 1, then maybe Kyo. You're gonna get 1,000 mana coins. If I can find your little character on screen. Kyo. I'm gonna start checking people. Nope. There you are. You're Morgan. Alright, let's give you... Oh, that doubles you. You get now 2,000 mana coins. Second, it's gonna be Karu. Let's get you 500 mana coins. Karu. Nope. There you are. Alright. And third is Lady. Let's get you 250 mana coins. I feel like I... There you... No, move. Nope, wrong one. You're not Chiyuki. Who are you, lady? Wait. See why I go... There you are. Oh, Eureka. Okay. Oops. There we go. You're so Eureka. Alright, top fans are paid out. Yay. Hey, don't throw you. Sorry. You're gonna hold on to this your cool avatar as long as you can. I think which is time to switch back. Yeah, so I will have Emma for sure and Reyes as avatars, and I'm gonna work on Hitomi for Friday. And I think that should be it. You're for holding on to something longer than the avatar. So in stream, you get to pick which avatar you're. So right now, you're Arturo with a jellyfish, a cowboy hat, and a dumb sticker. Oh, and I'll fix what's his name here? London. You're keeping that Toshi avatar forever, even though you just got here. Well, yeah, and as you win pets and accessories and stuff, you can decorate your Toshi and put hats and give them pets and all sorts of fun stuff. All right. Well, thank you guys all for being here. I'll see whoever on Friday or Saturday or whenever. Hope you guys have a good weekend and stay safe. Though I know the weather is getting better in places, but, you know, still stay warm / and or cold or room temperature. Economically gave you $1 million. Oh, that's amazing. All right, you have a good night. Laters. You trying to make it? Yay! This is lovely. Bye.